Hello and welcome to Deep Thoughts, Shallow Plots.
My name is Erika and I really like to watch horror movies.
My name is Katy and I really like to overanalyze things. What are we overanalyzing today?
Today we are going to overanalyze a movie that has been overanalyzed many times.
Yeah.
In its 50 plus years of existence. The Exorcist.
I know, these are always the hardest movies to do because it's like, what else to say?
The classiques.
Yeah.
The heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every horror podcast has talked about The Exorcist.
Right.
Right?
And there's so much to say about like its cultural impact or like the making of The Exorcist and The Exorcist curse, which doesn't exist.
No.
Plus, to say nothing of the actual like themes and effects and everything in the movie. Mm-hmm. Like, it's been talked to death, but here we are.
And here we are. We're going to talk about it too.
And say nothing new.
Yeah, probably not. No.
Other than, I don't know. Has anybody talked about how Father Dyer seems gay? I'll jump right on with that.
So, Father Dyer
that's our brand.
Doesn't seem gay. Father Dyer is gay.
Okay.
And so the person who plays Father Dyer actually is a real priest.
He's a real. Yes.
So,
did you see that story about how he got involved with it? Because he wrote
Tell me.
the original novelist.
Yes,
Blatty. He got a letter from, I don't remember the actor's, the priest's name, who ended up being an actor in this. Father Dyer's real name.
Father William O'Malley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote a letter to Blatty that was basically just like, you got this wrong, you got this wrong. Father Dyer is a stereotype. He was like not having it. And somehow that turned into Blatty being like, well, then you do it.
You play him in the movie then.
You fucking do it.
Yeah.
And also like being like a consultant on the set along with some other priests. Yeah, so it's kind of cute. Yeah, Father Dyer is kind of my favorite character.
Father Dyer kind of
in
is
the novel
best.
Especially.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you did read the novel for this.
I did.
I did not.
As you said, I would be able to read it in less than a month, and I sure did.
You sure did.
It's not too long. It's like 300 pages.
Yeah, novel.
Yeah, normal novel length.
So I'm just kind of thinking about my general thoughts. So, you know, like people really hold this film in incredibly high regard.
Yeah.
And there are still people who kind of tout it as like the scariest movie ever made.
Yeah.
And it very well may have been the scariest movie ever made.
At the time that it was made.
But it's just not that scary.
Katy jump scare count 0.
The
jump scares aren't the only way to calculate
horror. Yeah, but the Katy jump scare count was 0 for having never seen this movie before.
Yeah.
And that even includes the like flashes of the demon face.
Yeah.
See, that always unsettles me.
Yeah.
The flashes of the demon face. But that's like kind of it. Because as I was watching this movie, and I want to know if you agree with me, like this movie was doing way more telling and not showing. Like, we meet Father Doctor.
Yeah,
Dr.
that's
Father,
true. Yes,
whatever.
he does have a degree.
Yes, he's a doctor.
Yeah.
We see Father Karras, like, you know, the whole story plot line with his mom.
Yeah,
We see his mom. We see that she's, you know, alone in this apartment, and then she's, like, in the hospital.
Yeah.
And then all of the sudden she's dead.
Yeah.
And, like, what? You know, like it almost felt like I missed something.
Yeah.
Even though I was sitting on that couch the entire time.
Right.
And then like another thing. Oh yeah, when the director, what's his face? Burke Dennings, which is no one's real name. Is that his name in the novel?
Sure is. Yeah.
God. Well, he's British, right?
Yeah.
He's British, so it could be a British person's name. But other than that, it's no one's name.
I mean, and it could be it could be I believe it as a director's name.
A stage name. Yeah. Anyway, so when he dies, we don't see any of that.
Yeah.
Like, we don't see it. We just hear about the aftermath. And we just hear about the fact that his head got turned all the way around.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we literally saw you do the head turning around thing with Reagan.
Yeah.
So, like, you have the
power.
You had the practical effects.
Yeah.
To like show us a priest's head turned all the way around. Now that would have been effective. But you're just telling us that's what happened?
Yeah.
Like, that's the opposite of what you're supposed to do in movies.
Though I feel like they had to do that, at least with Burke Dennings' death. Okay. Because that needs to be a central mystery. We need to not know whether or not she did it.
Yeah.
If he did just fall, he was a drunk.
Yeah.
You know, it's
did he
very
jump?
much like trying to solve Burke Dennings' murder and like why the cop gets involved and stuff. Like, I think that works keeping as a mystery, but also we could have seen his gory dead body.
Yeah, it's still a mystery how he got there.
Yeah.
And how would you say
you want more gore?
Always, yeah. And we were kind of talking about that before we turned on the mic. Like, the jump scare count was 0.
Yeah.
But the gross out count
was high. Pea soup, vomit.
Oh, so gross.
So fucking gross.
So gross.
When it's just like, when she just sort of burbles it out
Yeah.
onto the little stall or whatever you call the thing the priest has
it's
on.
so gross.
I'm like, that's not, we don't need this. We're spending a lot of energy on this and a lot of energy on being able to see their breaths and their cold breath in the cold room. But I don't know. I didn't have a problem with the amount of like seeing versus telling, though I do think that is very of its era.
And
And not what we would expect in horror films now.
And what totally just not the way we would do it now.
But I think that's, especially with horror movies, that's always an effective thing to do, of like not really showing the...
Yeah, don't show the monster.
Until you get later, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was just kind of it was just a very slow 70s film.
Slow. Yeah, well, it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was like definitely some pacing, some things that the pacing was like, oh my God, dude, this is a
some long moments of silence of watching a guy walk around.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, there he goes.
Walk up the stairs.
There he goes
Walk down the stairs.
He's ascending.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Lots of time. I am sure the opening sequence in minutes isn't actually that long, but it felt very long.
It felt so long. It really, yeah.
And it's funny because I read like the first part of the novel.
Because also,
yeah.
Yes, I actually wanted to ask you like what this sort of like telling versus showing, if that like what
and
that's
the compare
like in
and
the
contrast.
novel.
Yeah.
But I did want to mention that I actually think probably what makes that opening scene so long is that it's about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes, which is a fine amount of opening scene.
Yeah.
But there's no dialogue.
Yeah.
It's silent. And so I think...
And a lot of the sound also feels very like... natural, like... What do you call that?
Ambient. Ambient sounds.
And what do you call it when it's the sound that's like diegetic? Is that the word? When the sound is like just the things that are there instead of like background music?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Like they get a lot out of having the like
the atmosphere.
And like the Muslim call to prayer as their music.
Oh my God, so beautiful.
Which honestly was a wonderful... It did feel a little bit for a second. I'm like, why are you starting your scary movie with a Muslim call to prayer as if that's scary?
Right.
You know, but no, that's not what they're saying.
They're doing archaeology.
And it's a religious theme thing.
And archaeology can be scary. So
that's true.
No, I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah, no, but because I read like the first third of the book and then we watched the movie and then I finished the book. And honestly, I loved the opening scene. Can I just read you the first line of the novel? Because I think it's honestly, like, I was shocked at how well written it was.
You really liked this novel.
Yeah, I thought it would be good, like, plot-wise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought it'd be a real, like, romp or something because a lot of horror books kind of read that way to me. But, like, the actual prose is good.
It's good.
Okay,
Blatty?
It starts with... The blaze of sun wrung pops of sweat from the old man's brow, yet he cupped his hands around the glass of hot, sweet tea as if to warm them. He could not shake the premonition. It clung to his back like chill, wet leaves. Like, you're just opening your novel with that?
Whoa.
Fuck yeah.
That's beautiful descriptive writing.
I know. I was like, I did not expect that.
Like, I'm there.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I did not expect. I don't know. Just because I guess I have a lower estimation of horror writing, which is unfair of me. You know, it's an unfair judgment.
Well,
but
yes.
Yeah, no, I was just because I guess less because it was horror, but more because it was like a pop culture hit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You don't always expect those to be like well written.
To actually be good.
You know, but like throughout there are moments of the prose where I was just like, damn, you can write, sir.
I love that.
And in terms of the showing not telling, I mean, the other thing I have to say, I mean, I just don't have much to say about the novel in our discussion of the movie because they're very similar in a lot of ways. I think the novel was more enjoyable to me, which probably isn't that surprising coming from me, a person who prefers books
yeah.
to movies in general.
Yep.
But like it definitely added more nuance and it had some like different subplots and things. But overall, like the story is
pretty much the same.
A lot of the dialogue straight up. I mean, because Blatty also wrote the screenplay, you know?
Right, yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, and was involved in making the movie. So it's like, yeah, it's pretty one-to-one in a lot of ways. It's similar to we don't know what happens to Dennings until later, you know, we kind of don't know what's going on.
Bit of a mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, spend even more time going through all the doctors and psychologists and stuff. That I will say is the scariest part of the film.
It is. It is the scariest part of the film. But this is the thing, again, like, you know, this is a classic. People love it, you know, and like, I think it probably hit really hard in 1973.
Yeah.
And now in 2026 with, you know, the world we live in, like just like the reality we live in and also like what horror is doing right now, it's just like it blows it out of the water.
Yeah, it's just not that scandalizing anymore.
But
maybe, unfortunately, to see a little girl, a 10, 12-year-old cussing and, I don't know. I work with middle schoolers. They cuss all the time.
A lot, yeah. And
they're always taking God's name in vain. Come on.
And gross stuff is always coming out of them.
Oh my God. Yes.
I don't know what to tell you.
No, they're awful. They're
awful.
I love them to death often, but they're awful.
Yeah.
They're awful.
They can be both. Yeah.
And they are sexual beings, for better or worse.
They are sexual. Yeah. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But no, I completely agree with you. Like, the medical stuff is the most terrifying.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering what the intention was. Because here's the thing. This movie, the book, the screenplay, the guy who directed it, like, edited, executive producers are all men.
Yes.
All
I
men.
have thought about that.
And so I thought, as we were watching that scene, I'm just like, medical trauma. Now that's real.
Yeah.
Now that's something. And so it was just, especially for a young girl.
Yeah.
Right? As her body is changing and
Yeah.
changing functions. So yeah, I was wondering, it's like, I wonder if they had any idea
that would
that
be...
this is actually some of the most effective pieces of horror in this movie.
Yeah. And the ones that would be the most lasting.
Yeah.
Because that still is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also, that is usually, like, at least from, like, you know, as I was doing research, like, for this movie, like, those are the parts that, like, stick out to people the most.
Yeah.
Like, when they
come
think
up a
about
lot.
the disturbing parts of The Exorcist, it's the doctor's office parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Anything else you want to mention? Are we ready to talk about some characters?
Yeah. I don't have a lot of general thoughts. I do. Yeah. I want to get into characters and, like, general themes.
And do we want to... Where do we
just
start?
let's just start with like the priest characters and like the general religious themes of this film, you know, without getting too much into the demon of it all.
Right, because we have basically three priest characters. We have Dr. Karras, Father Dr. Karras, Father Marin, and Father Dyer.
Yeah. Father Marin might also be a doctor because he's an archaeologist.
He might also be a doctor. Yeah, because again, the Jesuits of it all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because the Jesuits are like a specific sect of priest.
Yeah. They're within the Catholic Church.
Yes, very much, yeah.
And though I do think they were briefly kind of booted out of the Catholic Church, but they got back in.
Yeah,
but they're like a special brotherhood.
Who hasn't been booted out of the Catholic Church?
Yes.
Anyway,
honestly,
a brotherhood. And like they focus on, yes, of course, faith, you know, and service, but like also they value education.
Yeah. And they do, of course, because they're Catholic, do some missionary work.
Yep.
Though I believe that has lessened. They used to be like in various, you know, other parts of the world.
Sure.
Spreading the word of God.
Yes, of course.
But I don't think that's as much their mission anymore. I think I don't know. Yeah. From what I've read of them and from what is portrayed of them in this book and movie, they seem pretty chill. I'm gonna be honest.
The priests or the Jesuits?
The
Jesuits seem chill. Yeah,
the Jesuits seem like kind of cool.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So it's kind of interesting.
Though I mean, they are the brotherhood, which
that's true. Well, because only men can be priests.
I know.
Thanks, Catholic Church.
Women can't do exorcisms. The Bible might say otherwise, but we'll get to that.
Okay. Oh, good. I can't wait. So we have like these three priests. So it's interesting that we have like three, and I kind of feel like they're representing like different aspects of faith or the church.
Yeah.
Like Marin's old school.
Yes.
Right. He's seen some shit.
But he is also like a solid believer, no matter how much of the shit he's seen.
Yeah. He's solid in his faith.
Yeah.
And then the whole point of Father Dr. Karras' storyline is that he is struggling with his faith.
Yeah.
Like, it's honestly, it's called The Exorcist, and like this movie is like theoretically about a young girl who's possessed by a demon, but like this movie is really about Father Karras.
Yeah. Well, he is the exorcist.
He's the exorcist. Him and Marin are the exorcists.
Yeah. So I mean,
So it's really about Karras.
Yeah, no, it is about him and his struggle with his faith.
So we learn.
It's that whole
a lot about
idea of like the signs of evil in our world are really clear. It's very easy to see you know, the devil's work, if you believe in the devil, or just like the work of evil, it is a lot harder to like get yourself or train yourself to seek out those signs of good and therefore believe in God. Because it's like, how can you believe in God when you see all this horrible things? You know, like, where is God doing these things? But then it's like, well, if you can acknowledge all the good in the world, there he is.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of like a main thesis of that I took away from the novel and to a lesser extent from the movie.
Yeah. I also think it's sort of a like, if there is all this evil in the world, then it sort of almost proves in and of itself that there has to be good as well.
Yeah, because
like,
otherwise you couldn't see it.
Yeah, like,
you wouldn't be affected by it.
yeah, if the devil is real, then God has to be real too.
There's a thing. Well, first off, Father Dyer basically says that to Chris at the end of the novel. I think they cut it from the movie. I don't remember that being a thing in the movie. They do have a little bit of a talk.
In the extended director's cut, Dyer and Chris do have a little bit more of a conversation.
Yeah, I think it's probably the same one then in the novel, where he's basically like, so what do you believe in now? And she's like, well, I believe in the devil because of all the evil
Shit
I see.
saw.
And he's like, well, then how can you not believe in God then? Because of all the good that you see. Like, here's Reagan cured, or, you know, like all that stuff. And also there's a part that Marin talks about where he talks about how the possession isn't about hurting the person who's possessed. It's about hurting all the people around her, you know, who have to see this, which, spot on. Yep. But then after that, he also talks about how good comes out of evil. That in some way, maybe the devil is actually doing God's work in that sense, because when you're faced with evil, you do good to battle it. Yeah. And that's like what makes you become good, is like in this fighting of the evil. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah. It's a version of Christianity that I'm actually kind of down with, you know? Yeah. Like, I think it's a cool way to think of faith. Yeah. This sort of faith with devils and gods and stuff, which of course I'm not a believer of this stuff personally.
Yeah. No. Neither of us are Catholic.
And this is I was not raised in that, so I don't know.
I really think this movie would hit harder if we had been raised Catholic.
I wonder about that.
I think this movie hits harder for Catholics.
Did you? I just wrote them all down.
Catholics reach out.
Yeah. The religious responses to the film.
Yes.
There's a whole little section on Wikipedia, because I always read the Wikipedia just to see, you know, just get a general view over, you know, before I start doing deeper research.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
Thank you, Wikipedia. I gave you some money this time.
Ooh, yeah, I need to give them more money.
Yeah. But, and there were some people who were like the Catholic Church in general was like, nah, we're actually cool with this because
we're filling pews, baby.
Yeah, and because, God wins in the end. Like, good wins in the end. Like, it's a good message. Like, that's the reason why the Jesuits were like, yeah, you can totally film on scene at our stuff because, like, we were the winners. Yeah. You know? But there are these other religious responses that were, like, less
exciting,
less into it, that I just thought was a really funny, if I may. It's literally just from Wikipedia. Anybody could go read this, but I just thought it was funny. One, we're talking about different priests who responded, or like religious people who responded it. One who, like Harris, was a Jesuit and psychiatrist at Georgetown, said that while he believed in the devil, quote, there is no shred of evidence from the Bible that he can possess an individual. Woods, the Loyola of Chicago professor who had written a book about the devil, told the New York Times that Karras and Marin were incompetent. Quote, I know, they departed from the ritual in the most stupid and reckless manner.
They did.
They tried to fight the demon hand to hand instead of relying on the power of God.
Idiots.
Eugene Kennedy, another Loyola priest and psychologist, described the film's view of the battle of good and evil as immature. Quote, being a Christian and a mature person means coming to terms with our own capacity for evil, not projecting it on an outside force that possesses us.
Oh, I liked that.
I know. And I thought those criticisms were like really interesting. Not the ones I would have expected that were like, this is gross, or like you're showing the sacrilegious stuff. Yeah, like this has the devil in it. Like, you know, like I expected that stuff, not like, dude, what are you doing? Trying to hand-to-hand combat with the fucking demon? Yeah. What's wrong with you, idiots?
Even I'm not even Catholic, and I don't know anything about it, but like I knew that they deviated from the ritual.
Yeah,
I could tell.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the ritual. I'll get into that.
You'll get into it. So it's like Father Karras and Father Marin are like a little bit of like two sides of the same coin, a little bit. And Father Dyer to me. So here's the thing about Father Dyer. So he's gay, 110%. And so to me, he represents the church in the 1970s because he is first of all, he's at that party smoking and drinking.
Yes.
And priests
He's having a gay old time.
Priests
play the piano.
Priests are not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to engage in that kind of behavior.
Yeah. Vow of poverty. And
vow of chastity, the whole thing. Yeah.
What's the word I want?
Sobriety?
Austere,
yeah.
You know, not hedonistic. The opposite of that.
So Father Karras is, I think, a lot more like a normal human being. And kind of showing the is like, hey, this is where the church is right now, you know?
Wait, Father Dyer or Father Karras?
Father Dyer. That's
yeah.
kind of like where we are now. Like, yes, I'm a father and, you know, I'm a priest and I go to parties and I smoke and I drink.
Yeah.
And I play piano.
And make jokes about getting to go to the moon to spread the message of God there.
Can I...
Yeah.
Can I give you my favorite quote by Father Dyer?
Please do.
About his idea of heaven?
Yes.
My idea of heaven is a solid white nightclub with me as the headliner for all eternity.
Oh my God, babe.
And they love me.
Babe.
He's gay.
He's okay, wait. I didn't put it in my notes because I was like, I'm not going to talk about how Father Dyer is probably gay. I'm not going to do that.
What do you mean?
I know. On our podcast.
We ever not talked about somebody possibly being gay?
So like in the movie when there are scenes where like Dyer shows up to Karras's little dorm, I guess is what you would call his room. He seems to have on campus housing.
Yeah, the priest quarters.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, his cell.
Yeah.
Or that's what you would call it in monks, like monastics.
Is that true?
They would call themselves.
Oh, really? Oh.
That's really why we call, cell for like biology cells in our bodies.
Uh-huh.
It's because a monk scientist used that term because of the cells that he lives in. The separate.
Oh my gosh. Language is so crazy.
I know. I love language. Anyway, one of those scenes, which is just like, I don't know, the intimacy of it all in general. Oh, wait, let me back up to fully set the scene. So Karras, of course, his job seems to be being a therapist for other priests. That is what his job is, yes?
Seems that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he actually switches to a different job in the novel. He starts out doing that and then just becomes like a professor straightforward because he's like, I can't fucking take it.
Right, well,
helping these people with their crises of faith when I am having a crisis of faith.
Yeah.
And one of the first, like the one scene of therapy that we get is him talking to this other priest who is like, I am fucking lonely doing this work. I'm a young guy and I'm afraid to make friends with the other priests because I'm worried they'll think I'm gay and coming on to them. And that's like really heartbreaking. Like,
that is heartbreaking.
Masculinity is a prison.
Is a prison that locks from
so
the
I just
inside,
kind of like, part of me wants to keep that in mind as I'm like, Dyer and Karras, maybe they're just friends and it's on me for being like, I'm part of the problem of this, this homophobia problem. But literally, okay, so he's in there and Dyer's basically being like, hey, did Chris McNeil reach out to you? She's been having this problem. And Karras is like, yeah, I talked to her. And then I'm going to start quoting now. Dyer says, he's describing her. He says, plain, down to earth, unaffected, continued Dyer. She can help us with my plan for when we both quit the priesthood. Karras says, who's quitting the priesthood? Dyer says, faggots in droves. Basic black has gone out. What? First off, Karras, I think Dyer is asking to marry you and like run away with you.
Run away. Yeah.
Second, you can't just answer the straight question. You go straight to like, the homos, we're all leaving. Yeah. Bye.
So, but it is also worth noting that there is no possible way to know how many queer people joined the priesthood or became a nun.
Right.
As a super handy way to avoid the social rejection.
Yeah.
And also opt out of heterosexuality.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of a win-win.
So many women went to the nunnery just because they didn't want to get married, whether they were gay or not.
Yeah.
They just didn't want to get married.
I'll marry Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would so. Also, something that doesn't happen in the movie but happens in the novel is that Dyer is the one person who becomes very aware that Karras is like not taking care of himself. He is not eating. He is not sleeping.
Yeah.
He's freaking out.
Yeah.
So he leaves him like little bits of food from the refrigerator with like little notes about how he should eat. Like it's weirdly romantic. I don't know. And I'm like, baby, eat something. Your boyfriend is worried about you.
Well, now that's really interesting because yes, like Father Dyer is like coming on to Karras for sure. But like every man is coming on
Oh
to
my
Father
God.
Karras.
Kinderman, the cop, who's like, you look like this actor or that actor.
Well, that's not what he says first.
Oh God.
First thing he says when he sees Karras is he says, "You look like a boxer."
Oh, yes. But not only that, he was told by somebody else to look for somebody who looked like a boxer.
Like a boxer. Yeah.
So, like, this is just a thing that's known about Karras. Like, look for the hot buff priest.
Yeah, right.
The hot priest.
And well, because what Lieutenant Kinderman says is that you don't look like a priest.
Yeah.
You look like a boxer.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you coming on to him right now?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There's a part also in the novel later. I think we're technically from Chris's we're never in like somebody's perspective specifically. It's all third person, but we kind of have one person's view more, it's a close third at different spots. So I think we're maybe supposed to be in Chris's perspective, but also just sort of omniscient narrator where they're just sort of like Karras's rippling arm muscles with the sweat and the blood. I'm like, I get it. He's a hot priest. We get it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, and then Kinderman literally like, want to go see a movie? You can go see a movie.
Yeah. Well, he seems to really like movies.
Yeah,
because
he just wants somebody to go see a movie with him.
Yeah. Well, he just seems to really like movies because Chris McNeil is an actress. That is her profession.
That's true, and he likes her a lot too.
Yeah.
I will say, in some versions of the movie, and definitely in the novel, at the end, Kinderman and Dyer become movie pals and go see movies
they go
together.
See movies together. I love it.
Yeah.
Good. I'm gonna choose to believe that.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the more religious stuff. Enough about Dyer and his gayness.
Yeah.
And how hot Karras is.
We get it. Yeah.
Oh, and also though, I also want to talk about. I do think Karras, in general, I think this movie is kind of funny, and the novel is definitely funny. Like, the dialogue's good, especially in Father Dyer. But there are also some things that I don't think that are meant to be funny, such as the scene where Karras does not give money to that homeless drunk guy. There's something about his look of disgust where I was just sort of like, silly.
Right. Now, that is an interesting scene.
Because they're just trying to show that he, like, can't handle the ugliness of the world.
Yeah,
his faith does not allow him to believe, Yeah. Like, all he sees is the ugliness and not the, like, good.
But also, what gets me... So, actually, one of the things that I find particularly effective about this movie is the use of sound.
Yeah.
And, like, during that scene, yes, there's that, unhoused person asking for change, saying he's a Catholic. Right?
Yeah. Who apparently was just some drunk guy they found. Not an actual actor.
Perfect. Was he Catholic? Who knows?
Who knows? He might have been an altar boy. Fada,
yeah. But also in that scene, there's like a pretty unnerving train screeching sound.
Yeah.
And like, as somebody who gets sensory overload from sound pretty easy, like I could see the like, and just like, no to everything, and just getting away from that sound.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Yeah. It's technically a disservice to Karras because he does end up giving some money to the homeless guy in the novel.
Oh, okay.
But I think they had to do it that way because we don't have his interiority of disgust. Because the whole time he's doing it, he's like, gross.
Yeah.
So like they had to show it to us in a different way.
Yeah.
So I get it. But like, no, that's, I don't know. There's something about Karras that was just kind of funny. And when he gets, spat on or thrown up on and stuff, like, his reactions are very funny to me.
Yeah.
He's good. He does great.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything else about the priests?
Well, I guess we haven't really touched too much on Marin yet.
Yeah, not really. Yeah.
And my main question is, like, I mean, I guess this is maybe more of a Reagan point, but like, why did Pazuzu, if this is Pazuzu, end up choosing Reagan? And was it just because she happened to be generally in a location near Marin, and it really was just all about the showdown between Marin and Pazuzu? Because they've got history.
They sure do.
Yeah.
That's a real possibility, because again, I've already said it, like, we can, like, when you ask, like, oh, what's The Exorcist about, you say it's about this possessed girl.
Yeah.
But like, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, the possessed girl is sort of like the plaything.
Yeah.
She's almost like the football.
Oh my God.
And Marin and Pazuzu are like opposing
Can I
teams.
read you a line from the novel?
Yes.
Another one.
Yes.
It's something that the demon tells to Marin when Marin's trying to do the exorcism.
Yeah. And
the demon
doing all the
says,
demon stuff. Yeah.
"Hypocrite, you care nothing at all for the pig. You care nothing. You have made her a contest between us."
Yep.
Literally what you were just saying.
Yep. Me too, Pazuzu.
Yeah,
That's
no, I was
what's
kind
going
of like, I know the demon lies, but he also tells truth. And I think in this one, he might have been telling the truth.
Might have been telling the truth.
Because when Marin walks in, he's like, "Nah, I don't need to know anything about Reagan. I'm just going to go exercise this demon. Don't tell me anything about this girl. Tell me her middle name so I can do the rites. That's it." Like, I don't know. Yeah. He's for being somebody who is a true believer and believes in the beauty that can be found in the world, he don't care about people in the world very much, it seems like. He seems like he's very distant. Like, the one time we see him, like, working at the archaeological site, he, like, maybe has friends there.
Yeah.
You know, the one guy who works there with him is like, "Oh, I wish you didn't have to go, friends." And Marin's just sort of like, "Yep, but I do. Bye."
Gotta go. Yep.
And then we see him later at the other, wherever else he's staying, where he's just sort of in this wooded path walking by himself. Like, you're just kind of a loner. Is that
Yeah.
by choice?
Almost wonder if he, like, you know, again, being a Jesuit and, like, caring so much about education is, like, maybe he kind of appreciates things more in theory than in practice.
Yeah.
He'd rather just go dig up some Pazuzu statues instead of, like, actually talk to a person.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So it's very, I mean, it is, when you're talking about the three different priests, it's very, like, polar opposite to Dyer, who's, like, very much enmeshed in society.
Right. Well, I mean, to me, that's, like, the role faith leaders are supposed to play. Like, they're supposed to be in their communities.
Yeah.
Like, leading, yes, but, like, also, like,
Helping,
responding, helping to, like, what their community needs. And, yeah, Marin's not.
Though, I mean, he does show up.
He does show up, and he does the exorcism.
And then dies in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Apparently just of a heart attack.
A heart attack, yeah. Because we
know he's taking some sort of pills.
He's got
he's
heart
sick.
problems. Yeah, we established
And
that.
we know that this can be a very tiring... It's unclear how long it takes in the movie. In the novel, it's like several days of
really?
like very little sleep, very little food of these exorcists.
Yeah.
Just being like, the power of Christ compels you.
The power of Christ compels you, yeah.
You know, so like it makes sense. Like, yeah, that would be tiring on the butt. That would be hard, especially if you already had heart problems. But I almost feel bad for Pazuzu, who like had to watch his nemesis die and he didn't even get to kill him. Like, just a fucking heart attack? Really, dude? As Pazuzu, I'd be pissed.
I guess I always thought of it as like, yes, Father Marin was already sick and had heart problems, but like I always kind of thought of it as like Pazuzu pushed him over the edge.
Oh. The novel makes it very clear
that it's a heart attack.
Pazuzu is, because when Karis comes in and finds him dead, Pazuzu is like, fix him, heal him.
Yeah.
Bring back my nemesis. We were fighting.
Yeah. It's all I know.
It's all I know. Yeah. Me and Marin locked in combat, you know? So I don't know. I mean, and it certainly wasn't like if he did push him over the edge, it was just through like wearing him down. It wasn't through like the way that he killed Burke Dennings. Yeah. Like he kills Burke Dennings.
In the novel.
Yeah.
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 In the movie, we leave it a little more open-ended.
Yeah.
And I'm actually ready to talk about him whenever you are.
You want to move on to Burke Dennings?
Well, I want to talk about Burke, and I also want to talk about, well, do we need to say anything else about Detective Kinderman?
I went down such a rabbit hole about Kinderman because less so in the movie, but definitely in the book, he is Columbo. Have you watched any Columbo? Like,
no, but I'm
Columbo.
very aware
of
it. He's the one other thing. Yeah.
Kinderman literally says that in the novel.
And one other thing.
Yeah, he's like, right as he's about to leave, he goes, one other thing. Carl, you're blah, 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 blah. And he's all rumpled, and he wants people to underestimate him, and he goes on these long rambling talks about, like, and see my wife, she doesn't like the movies.
Yeah,
but he's fucking Columbo.
Okay.
And I was like, what is happening here?
Uh-huh.
Because Columbo first came out in the 60s
right.
in like a movie and some other smaller
things.
was
it a movie first?
Yeah, some other smaller, it was like some smaller TV show and then a movie. I was looking at it, whatever. Okay. But then airs in 1971 in like March. This book comes out in 1971 in around then too, a little bit before then, December of the year before or something. No. Early September, something like that. September or something in the fall. So the book does come out first, but doesn't get big until the summer after Columbo had started airing. So I'm like, what is happening here? Though apparently people who are more familiar with Columbo than I am say that Columbo doesn't get those Columbo-isms that he's really known for. Like, he's not like that at all in the movie that came first.
Oh, okay.
He's not really like that in the first episode, in the pilot episode. Those happen later. Also, apparently, as he was like finishing up the novel, he was already passing it around to film execs and being like, let's get some stuff going here. So it is very possible that Columbo is a ripoff of Kinderman.
Oh.
Ain't that wild?
That's wild.
And they actually, but then because Columbo came out before they got to the movie, they actually toned down his Columbo-ness so that he doesn't seem like a ripoff of Columbo.
Yeah.
Even though it probably was the other way around.
That's so interesting.
Or, since the timeline's so tight,
yes,
possibly they both were being influenced by something else similar. Like, that just was a trope in the air of the, like, unassuming detective who's actually very sharp.
Everyone was just going around saying and one other thing.
Yeah, you know? So, like, I don't know, but I was, like, trying to figure out when exactly, because Blatty's story is that his novel wasn't that popular until he got onto some talk show.
Okay.
You know? And I was, like, trying to find when that episode aired. Like, I was getting into it. Like, how does this make sense? Other people theorizing, like, hey, why are Columbo again? Blatty himself was like, yeah, Columbo totally ripped me off. But you can't really take Blatty at his word, you know? So I'm, like, looking at the dates, and I'm like, I just don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
That, or it's just a coincidence.
It's a coincidence, or it's like the thing with physics, right? So I always forget his name. The German guy who also invented physics. Parallel to Isaac Newton.
Oh, yeah.
They had no contact with one another.
Sometimes theories just kind of, I mean, that's when you get into those theories of universal consciousness and just like information in the world.
Yeah, like maybe it was like multiple people had this idea.
Yeah,
and you guys were just the first two to.
Everybody was getting inspired by the same things, and you two happened to take that inspiration on a similar track.
Yeah,
you know, like,
or you guys got
like
there
disparate
first.
evolutions, where it's like these very separate animals end up being very similar because they're in similar niches. I don't know. The world is crazy.
The world is crazy.
That's my random thought about Kinderman that I just went on a rabbit hole.
Kinderman is really an interesting character to me because he does come across, and like maybe it is sort of a ruse. But he does come across as like affable, you know,
and a bit of a rube.
Really seems like he just kind of wants to talk about movies.
Yeah,
you know, especially in the scene when he's talking with Chris. Like, it really seems like what he cares most about is getting her autograph and not.
And it's so funny because you can see it.
Burke's murder. Yeah,
I do think they had to play him down.
Death. We don't know. Yeah, allegedly. Yeah,
I do think they had to play him down a bunch in the movie. Yeah. A, for time, and B, for this maybe Columbo situation because it's very clear in the book that he is using all of that like talking and stuff to like get a sample of one of Reagan's little sculptures that, you know, she makes that weird bird.
Yeah.
Because another little sculpture like that was found on the stairs near Dennings. So like he's actually working the shit.
Working.
He's doing the case.
He knows what he's
pretending to be like, oh, no, mind me. I'm just some guy.
Teachers do that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. When like a student's like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. And like, I actually know exactly. And I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah. yeah.
But Kinderman is a really interesting character to me because he represents the state.
Yeah.
In this movie about faith and religion. And so it's just,
and like, what role can he play? Because he is never going to get the results for this murder case that are going to be usable.
Yeah.
You know, if it does turn out that this possessed little girl killed this guy, is he really going to do anything?
Hold up in court?
Yeah. What is he going to do with that? Like, how is anybody going to believe that she even just pushed this guy out the window?
Yeah.
With what strength?
Yeah. She's 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just, it's interesting.
No, and it's interesting because one of the main subplots in the novel that we don't get. So Carl and Willie are the like helpers along with Sharon.
And Sharon,
who work in Chris's house. Carl is like Kinderman's main suspect, it feels like at a certain point, because he's a big guy who lives in the house. Yeah. And his alibi doesn't check out because he says he was at the movies. But Kinderman knows movies, and he was not at the movies.
He was not at the movies.
No, and it ends up being this whole subplot about how Carl actually has this daughter that he's taking care of, who's like an addict, and so he doesn't tell his wife Willie about it. He's like, just think she's basically dead. Don't worry about your daughter. She's dead. Don't worry about her. You know? But he's like trying to take care of his daughter who's addicted, and so like Kinderman realizes that Carl isn't the murderer. But it's like this whole other subplot about them, and like. We don't get much Carl in the movie.
No.
And hardly any Willie.
And hardly. It's basically Carl and Sharon are like the two caregivers in that house. Well, and it's really interesting because, Carl is an interesting character, and I wish that they would have gone farther into. I wonder what it's like in the novel. In the party scene where Carl and Burke get into that argument.
Such a good scene.
And Burke calls Carl a Nazi.
Yes.
And Carl says he's Swiss. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, those two things are not necessarily mutually exclusive. And then I'm thinking, 1973, we're less than 3 decades out of World War II. We're talking with an old British man and an old Swiss man. Like, we might be accusing some people of being Nazis.
Yeah.
But I was like, whoa, like, because he's Swiss? Like,
yeah.
what, like, did you get some information about what he was doing during the war?
Yeah.
Like, give me more.
My only impression in the novel is that Burke Dennings is just kind of an asshole.
He's kind of an asshole. And
when he drinks. Because that's the other thing that I think you get a little bit in the movie, but again, novel, just kind of richer because it has more time.
Yeah.
It really drives home this link between Dennings' clear alcoholism, like he has a problem, and Reagan's possession. And, we talked a little bit in our last episode about how possession can be a metaphor for like substance abuse addiction. And like how you become a different person. Like there are all these things about how
and all your values change.
Dennings is like a great director and like can be a good friend, and then he drinks too much and like his personality changes, kind of like a possession. He gets angry and messy, and then like in the next morning he doesn't even remember what he did. Sounds like possession. You know, and like not only that, like not only are those like symptoms the same, but that scene you're talking about, they do it in the movie too, but to a lesser extent. Dennings is getting messy and causing a problem at this party. Right, basically at the same time that Reagan then comes down and is messy and causes a problem at the party. It has a little social faux pas, and then they're both put back to bed.
Yes, they are.
They're literally treated the same way.
And that is also, Burke Dennings says he calls Carl a cunting Han.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I'm like, Han? Like the Han Chinese? Like
I was thinking maybe Hans, like as just another German.
That
was my I don't know though for
sure. But the name is Hans.
Yeah.
Or is it like a reference to the Hanseatic League?
I don't know.
I genuinely don't know.
I think it was another like German Nazi thing.
Just
That's all I know.
Weird thing. And
or maybe it was like a Hun, like you're just a hulking.
It was spelled H-A-N.
Okay.
I don't know. But that, and then that is what Reagan hears, and that's where she picks up the word cunting.
Yeah.
When she embodies Burke and says,
when she's possessed.
You see what your cunting daughter did. And I'm like, I say the word cunt like literally every day. I never say cunting.
Well, maybe you should.
Maybe I should start.
But can you carry it off like Burke Dennings does?
It is because that word is not as intense in the UK as it is here. It's what you call your mate. It's what you call your friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just interesting to make it a verb, an adverb.
Yeah.
Anyway,
your cunting daughter.
Your cunting daughter.
Yeah. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Yeah.
Like in American context, it's like a really weird phrasing. You're right. But it sounds so natural in the British dialect.
Oh yeah, because they just love that word.
I do want to talk. I was kind of curious about like, do you know what your cunting daughter did?
Yeah.
He's accusing her of being his murderer.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know if I got that when I was watching.
Really?
I mean, I got that probably the demon did it.
Yeah.
The moment he went missing, I was like, oh, the demon fucked him.
The demon got
him good. Yeah. But the idea of Reagan herself having guilt about it, she does.
She does?
In the novel.
Oh, in the novel. Okay.
Which is cool. And like, that is... Like the demon puts it on her that she did it.
Yeah.
Not that he did it through her.
Through her, yeah.
But that she did it. And is very specifically like, because we have that whole part about Reagan being like, so you and Burke Dennings to her mom, where he's like, what's going on there?
Yeah, like your friend Burke.
Yeah. And the demon in Burke Dennings' voice accuses Reagan of being like, hey, fuck you. You stole my mom and you made my parents get divorced, and you're the reason for everything, and I'm gonna push you out the window down the stairs. And then Karis is like, and so then how did the head get turned all the way around?
Yeah, but the head though?
And the demon's just sort of like, freak accident. So I'm like,
it's a lot of stairs. I don't know.
Things happen. God, you figure it out. You're the doctor.
Yeah, I figured that was that's just a demon lying.
Yeah. But I wonder if, because at that point Reagan was sort of in between, but she wasn't like fully possessed yet. If she was aware of that, and if she did feel guilt about it, or like if it was driven by some of her own feelings towards Dennings.
Right. Well, because when I first, I know that it's spelt out a little bit more in the novel, but like, as far as the movie goes, it's suspicious. Like, what the fuck was Burke doing in her room?
Yeah.
And it makes sense, like, if there's some weird fucking noises.
Yeah.
And he's just concerned and, like, wants to check it
Yeah,
out.
if
and
Sharon
gets into
left
some
him
shit.
there to, like, keep an eye on the sick daughter and he hears noises up there, I mean, I would hope he would go check it out.
Yeah. So that makes a little bit of sense. But then I was like, maybe, like, is Burke a threat
To the demon?
to Reagan?
Oh, to Reagan.
Like,
maybe.
like, is he, like, assaulting her or, like,
Yeah.
wanting to assault her? Like, is he a threat?
Yeah, and I don't know if there's any evidence about
There's
that, but
really
there's
no
also
evidence,
so
yeah.
little
Yeah.
to, like, the novel doesn't make it any clearer exactly what went down. We have the demon side of the story.
Yeah.
Which is that Reagan freaked out on Dennings because he caused the divorce of her parents. Which I don't know, but kids think stupid things about divorce.
Kids do think silly things.
You know, but like, but then still, like, she would not have the strength to fucking turn his head all the way around.
Because she pushed him through the window,
Yeah.
right? So, like,
onto the stairs. down
onto
below.
the stairs. That's a lot.
Yeah.
To push
And
him with enough force to break the window?
I guess the window was open
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah, I'm not buying it.
must not have had a screen.
Yeah.
No,
No, I think the demon got him. It's just sort of the rationale part,
Yeah.
because like in tons of possession movies, like and real life cases, whatever you want
Yeah.
to call them, like they're always exhausting every option first, right? Is there any medical explanation? Right?
Yes.
Is there a substance use explanation? Is there an abuse,
Yeah.
assault explanation? And so maybe that's just kind of where I was going. I was like, what you doing,
Well,
Burke? What you doing?
Yeah, because I mean, I remember thinking that when I was reading the novel, when the doctors are asking things and Reagan, in sort of a semi-possessed state, you know, tells them not to, like, touch her, especially when they want to examine, like, you know, her below the belt area and, like, whatever terms the doctor would use to deal with a child or whatever. And she's very much like, get your cunting hands away from me or whatever she says, you know. And I was like, as a mother, I'd be like, has she been abused? On my watch, like, did I miss something? Is something happening here? You know, honestly, some of the ways she behaves, I'd be like, yeah. So I don't know. That is interesting.
Abusers will target children whose parents don't think like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Who think, what the fuck's up with my kid?
Yeah.
Probably just a bad kid.
Yeah.
Anyway. What else?
Yeah. Did you have any thoughts about Sharon? I feel so bad for Sharon. She's literally just there as like a tutor in the novel. I think she seems more like a nanny in the movie.
Here's my deep thought.
Yeah.
Sharon is Reagan's real mom.
Yeah, I mean, she seems to be the one who's like actually taking care
Sharon
of her day
is
in and
the
day out.
actual caregiver of Reagan. Yeah. And so like and
In other words, Chris is her dad.
Chris is kind of the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that way, I suppose. Yeah. But Sharon is like her actual caregiver. And it's pretty clear in the movie that like Reagan has more of an intimate relationship with Sharon than she does with her own mom.
Yeah.
Like,
Though her and her mom do seem close. They
Yeah.
have that little play fight over the candy and stuff like that.
But it's just, but like obviously, but it's just sort of like who is Reagan spending her time with?
Yeah.
She is spending her time with Sharon, and she's telling her mom like, oh, we went to the park
Yeah,
and
we did this. We
did
saw a
this.
horse.
We saw a horse and blah, 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 you know? And it's just like, yeah, you're spending all your time with Sharon.
Yeah.
Because your mom is busy. She's an
Yeah.
actress. She's filming right now. Like, I understand.
Yeah.
And you are being raised by Sharon right now.
Well, and in some different times and areas,
That
that
would've
would
been
be
fine.
very normal to
Yeah.
be raised by your
the nanny.
or your au pair
Yeah.
or your whatever, you know, another woman, and then your mom is your mom.
Yeah. And
You
she's
know.
doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but yeah, no, it does. And then like to have that while at the same time, she's also working as Chris's assistant. She's doing
That's
like
right.
assistant work for
Yeah.
Chris too. She's like taking care of phone calls and she's doing, you know, errands and stuff. You know, she's taking care of all of it.
Yeah. Seems to be
Sharon's
keeping up the house.
Yeah, Sharon's doing everything,
Yeah.
and she's dealing with a possessed child. I'm like, Sharon, get out.
Just leave. Yeah.
Just leave, Sharon.
Well, and she kind of
Does
at the end.
She's
yeah.
like, I'm done?
Yeah, but they're like, we're going to go back to Hollywood. You should come. And she's like, no.
No. I'm going to do literally anything else with my life. Probably
Yeah.
never work with another child again.
You go,
I
Sharon.
got a horse boyfriend, okay?
That's true. She's got a boyfriend.
Who has a
Yeah.
horse? I don't know what.
Oh, that's right. Because that's not said in the movie, but
Yeah.
it's in the novel.
Yeah.
But that guy with
I think
the
they kind of
horse-
allude to it. Chris like makes a little face or a little
guy
comment
with a
to Sharon,
horse,
like, "Oh,
yeah.
is that the guy with the
The
horse?"
guy
She
with
said
the
something
horse?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, that's her boyfriend.
She's got a new
Like,
horse boyfriend. She's fine.
She's fine. She'll go do that. I hope Sharon has a great life
Yeah.
because she did not deserve to be suddenly in the middle of all that. None of them did.
None of them
but
did, yeah. But Sharon especially.
yeah, she did not get paid enough. I don't know what her salary was, but it was not enough.
Wasn't enough, yeah. So that's kind of my main big thought, is that Sharon is Reagan's actual primary caregiver.
Yeah.
And therefore mother, if you'll allow me to use that word.
Yeah.
Because
Which then I
I
wonder
have
what it
some
was.
feelings about Chris.
Yeah, I wonder
But
what
we
it was
can-
like then for
Do something else first.
Sharon to then leave in the same way that Reagan's father left.
just left. Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Anyway.
So we obviously still need to talk about, like, basically two huge characters. We haven't
Yeah.
talked about Chris or Reagan yet, really.
And we're Pazuzu.
Or Pazuzu, so three main characters.
Yeah.
So I think before we jump into Chris and Reagan, because I have
and
a
just
lot,
the real mechanics of possession and all of that.
and I have a
in
lot,
this film, I mean.
I have a lot of feelings about Chris and Reagan.
I do too.
Good. So, but before that, we're gonna set the scene.
Yes.
And we're gonna learn. Katie's gonna tell us a little bit more about who this Pazuzu guy is.
Yeah.
And what else?
And just like possession
In general.
Just some background
in
on
like
possession.
in the Christian tradition, or
Yeah, in the general, and then we'll get more specific Christian.
all right. Literary corner. Pazuzu.
I know to wait now.
Yeah.
You always have a sting
There
now.
might be a sting, yeah.
Yes, in the morning, nights. Okay, yeah. No, you specifically asked me, like, who the fuck is Pazuzu?
And then you know what's really funny? I did some
looked him
research
up.
on
You're
Pazuzu.
like, who is Pazuzu?
But you're a good storyteller, so you tell us who Pazuzu
So,
is.
yeah. So, Pazuzu is an existing... Like, I almost wasn't sure. I'm like, did they just make up some guy?
Yeah,
It would have probably been better if they did.
They just made something up, yeah.
Instead of taking something from Mesopotamian religions.
Yeah. It's giving Islamophobia.
Yeah.
Even before Islam.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever you want to call that.
It's giving...
It's because they're not even Arabs.
Right.
It's not
no,
even
but
Arab
it's giving,
phobia.
like, Orientalism.
It's Orientalism. Yeah.
It's giving,
It
that
is.
sort of Eastern, whatever you'll call
Yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah. Because Pazuzu is a guy from, like, Mesopotamian religions. Of course, Mesopotamia is a term that covers a lot of civilizations, but in a general kind of area of, like, what would you call that in modern day? Like, Iran.
Mesopotamia is quite literally Syria and Iraq.
Oh, okay. I thought Iran was part of it.
Iran is Persia.
Okay, I guess I was thinking of Iraq.
That's okay. Iraq. Yeah.
You're the geography person.
Yeah. No, Mesopotamia is basically Iraq. Effectively,
Okay. Okay.
and
Interesting.
Syria.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's where the dig site is. It's in Iraq.
It's in Iraq.
So that makes sense.
Northern Iraq, yeah.
But yeah, so there are a
Assyria.
few different civilizations that sort of I guess leading powers that rose and fell during this time. And Pazuzu specifically would be from one of those leaders, like Babylonians, and then like the rise of all of the Assyrians.
Yeah.
Oh, Syrians.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm learning. Yeah, and we're talking about like end of BCE times.
Yeah, we're talking like
600, 800 BCE.
first century.
Yeah, yeah.
Or sorry, first millennium.
Yes,
First millennium
yes,
CE.
yes,
Yep.
yeah. Before Christ. So there were a number of different gods and like a different way of, and like there actually has been a lot of archaeological studies in the Mesopotamian region. We know actually kind of a lot.
Because it's smack dab in between the Tigris and the Euphrates.
Yeah.
AKA the cradle of fucking civilization.
Yeah. It's fertile as fuck.
There is a lot to learn there.
Yeah. Yeah. And there have been a lot of digs throughout
If you
time.
are coming with respect.
Yeah. Which, the British folk coming in the 1920s.
I don't know.
I don't know. Some more than others, maybe.
Anyway.
So this guy, Pazuzu.
Yeah.
He was possibly the son of, I saw it Hanbi and I saw it Hanpa. I think Hanbi is now the more Like Hanpai, I think, was the original like transliteration.
The way you would pronounce it.
The English maybe would say it, but maybe Hanbi is more accurate.
Okay.
Was sort of my take. But anyway, this god-ish person, maybe more of a demon, you would say.
They called him a demon.
Yeah. He's the Lord of Evil, is what he is.
Hanbi?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
He's the Lord of Evil. He's the big guy.
Yeah.
And so this Pazuzu, who was maybe his son, depending on which archaeological things you're reading and what you're interpreting, Pazuzu himself is the lord of the southwest winds, but like kind of the winds in general, and the plagues. And so he was maybe bringing plagues and diseases on the winds. And yeah, and just kind of generally would maybe bring some chaos into the lives of mortals. However, what I find really interesting about him, and that you probably saw as well, is that he wasn't just like a malevolent spirit. He was always invoked as a protector.
Yeah.
In particular, did you see this rival he had? It was like Lamashtu,
Yes.
who's this goddess who honestly sounds very cool.
Yeah. It was their way of understanding miscarriage and sudden infant death. Yeah.
That was my understanding of her. Yeah, she sounds very badass.
Yeah.
My other reading of her is that people were like, well, she should be a demon or something, but she's acting of her own accord, unlike the other demons who are like following the Lord of Evil.
Yeah,
so that means she's her own goddess, but she's being evil? What? She's powerful in a evil way? And a woman?
and she's coming for pregnant people and their babies.
Yeah. So I don't know. She also sounded very like certain interpretations of like Lilith.
Very.
You know?
Yeah.
That, like evil.
I think there's a bunch of different cultures have examples of some mythical woman who's evil
and who they're blaming for miscarriages and babies dying.
Whose fault it is for miscarriages and sudden infant death.
Yeah. But anyway, he, for whatever reason, is just hates her more than any.
They're rivals.
Yeah, they're just rivals. They're just rivals. I couldn't say exactly why.
They're nemesis.
Yeah, they're nemesis.
Nemesis. They're nemesis.
Yeah.
Just like Pazuzu and
yeah.
I don't think Pazuzu has friends, only nemesis.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
No, because that's the other thing. Because even when he was talking about like not he was talking about, he wasn't saying anything, but like drawings and like writings that archaeologists have found about him interacting with his other wind demons.
Yes,
because he's kind of the lord of the wind demons. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna rip off all your wings. I'm gonna like be in control of you and like your master, and I'm gonna beat you the fuck up. So yeah, I don't think he has friends.
Okay, yeah, no.
Yeah, no, but that's what makes him this protector figure, because like he's scary and looking and like scary in nature enough that he scares away the scary things.
Yeah, he's scary. Yeah.
One of the locals, quote unquote, in the movie, even refers to it as evil against evil, which I think is very cool. But the other thing that I think is interesting about Pazuzu is that he was so like popular.
Hugely popular.
They have found, archaeologists throughout time have found so many little amulets and little statuettes
to protect homes.
Yeah. It's just like he was popular enough that he was probably getting like mass produced, basically, these little images of him. So like, in other words, Marin, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're gonna find a fucking Pazuzu amulet.
Pazuzu amulets, it's okay.
Like, no, it's so clear that it has like a little hole at the top of the head. You could like wear it. Like clearly this was worn, but as
pregnant women were supposed to do.
Yeah. Evil against evil.
Yeah.
Marin.
You as a Jesuit should be able to understand that.
Yeah. Like you have all the information. I even looked at, I was like, when did we start to understand that that's what Pazuzu was about? You know, that he was more of a protector.
We've kind of always known that.
We kind of from the beginning. We knew that. So I'm like, why was this chosen?
Well, what's really interesting to me is, when I was looking into Pazuzu, it kind of seemed like he had two modes. Like he was kind of like, he would be the mountain traversing, wandering wind demon who could bring plague. But then he was also this like domestic symbol of protection, particularly for pregnant people and children.
But it could also protect against the plague
and
that he was supposedly
the plague
that he was bringing.
So it kind of gives like mafia protection, you know? Hey, make sure you have an amulet of me around your neck and you won't get the plague that I'm going to give you.
Yeah. Pray to me. I'll keep you safe. From me.
Classic Pazuzu.
But no, it just left me like, once I did all this research, I was kind of like, Marin, calm down.
Well, Blatty needs to calm down.
Yeah, because it's really Blatty.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? I don't know why he chose Pazuzu.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
So it's not clear. There's no actual, this is why Blatty chose
I didn't
Pazuzu.
see anything either. But I was like, maybe I just missed it somewhere.
There is a theory that I love.
Okay, cool.
Which is, there was a book published in 1900 called The History of the Devil.
Okay, yes.
That Blatty was probably read. And guess who the author of that book was? I don't know if you would like know it, but like their name.
What?
The author of this book, his name is Paul Carus.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I did see this when I was looking at stuff. Yes.
Yeah. Carus.
Yes. But that was thought of because I was looking at inspirations for Carus. Because there are different inspirations for Marin and for Carus. And that was one of the possible inspos for Carus. Yes, was this guy.
I also got one other thing, and maybe you did too, is that I learned about the existence of something I didn't know existed, which is silly. I should know it exists, which is the Chaldean Catholic Church.
No, I don't think so.
So that is basically it's a denomination of Catholicism. They're connected to the Catholic Church, but it's basically like the denomination of Catholicism that is practiced in Iraq and Syria.
Oh.
And so Pazuzu is a demon in that Catholic tradition.
Okay.
So it's sort of like this is where Mesopotamia was, like Pazuzu was part of it, and now that there are people there who are Christians or Catholics,
they're restructuring.
They took Pazuzu and they're like, no, he is a demon of the Southwest.
Yeah. I also did see. That makes me think of one thought that I'm going to get to later. So put a pin in that. But it also, the other thing I saw was that archaeologists in the Mesopotamia area have also found accounts of possession and exorcism in like those Mesopotamian religions, which is also interesting.
That is interesting.
I don't think there's like a ton of detail about it, like who exactly was possessing or getting, expelled or whatever. But it is possible that Pazuzu is somebody who already has been exorcised from many, many people.
Maybe, yeah.
So that's also, I don't know. But I don't know. It's just hard because it just feels a little bit like this is another one of those sort of Orientalist things where it's like, here's this scary demon from
a place far away.
We're going to start once again with this call to prayer that is, I think, meant earnestly is like a...
It happens 5 times a day, dude. Like,
Well, no, I mean, its use in the movie, I think, is meant earnestly as like a... God, this is like an all gods thing. Like, this isn't like just a Catholic thing. We're talking about good versus evil, God versus
every sense of the world.
But also, just in how all Orientalist it is.
Yes.
It just all feels kind of...
And how, like, ancient Chinese secret it's giving.
Yeah. It's feeling very that. So I'm sort of like, did you have to choose? Like, could you have, like, made up something? Could you have started with that archaeological thing just to, like, give us some background on him, but, like, not have it be? I'm still confused about how Pazuzu even got from there to there.
Right.
Except for maybe with Marin's backstory, he was also in, like, Africa or South America or wherever that other exorcism he did was.
Kenya.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. He's fucking been around. Like Pazuzu. He's the fucking wind. He can go where he can go.
Yeah.
I mean, Reagan has her bedroom window open. That wind's gonna get in.
That wind's gonna get in. And if it's facing southwest, then
you're fucked. Yeah.
That's what I always wondered. This is something I never fully understood. So if he's the demon of the southwest wind, is that the wind that comes from the southwest?
Oh my God.
Or
I don't know.
blows?
I was assuming came from the southwest.
Came from the southwest.
But I have nothing. I have no idea.
Okay, anyway.
Plus, he also just seems to be generally the lord of all winds because he's in charge of all the other wind demons.
Yeah, he's in charge of the wind demons. So
I don't know.
Kind of
I don't know how much that direction matters or what exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Pazuzu. Yeah. I do just want to talk about, like I said, possession more generally because it's not just a Catholic thing, which we mentioned a little bit in our last episode too. Like I said, there's evidence of it happening in Mesopotamia, this idea. Because it's really wide-ranging, like the idea of possession.
Yeah. What are you possessed by?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's found in so many different cultures with so many different beliefs of what kind of, like, spirits or whatever word you want to use exists. So, like, it can be involuntary. It can be voluntary. It can be, like, part of a ritual where you're calling this person in. Or you might need a ritual to get rid of it, you know? It can be, like, a good thing or a bad thing. It can be spirits. It could be ghosts of, like, deceased people you knew.
Your
deceased
ancestors.
people you didn't know. gods.
Yeah.
Demons, of course.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much anything. So, like, it's just such a right. I was, like, almost overwhelmed. So, like, this is very much a, like, just sort of, not even dipping our toes in. Just, like, doing a little, just looking at the surface of the water of possession, you know?
Watch the ripples.
Yeah. Because it's, like, and, like, even through time, even early on, possession was used either as an explanation for, or some people are using it to saying it wasn't possession and that it actually was, like mental illness and diseases and like just sort of antisocial behavior and like disobedience was sort of like, oh, it's devils, or like, oh, she's pretending to be possessed because it's a way that she can act disobedient and she's a faker, you know, like it's been all fucking over in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And like sometimes you actually want to get possessed as a way to like cleanse your soul and get rid of the evil energies with the possession of a good energy. Like it's
a good energy.
And I do think, I don't know, somebody who's done more research than me will be able to disagree with me all they want and I will believe them. But like it felt like there was in a lot of cases a bit of a gendered thing happening with possession. With like women, I saw way more accounts of women being possessed than men. You know?
Yeah.
And
that's reflected in the Hollywood movies about it too.
Yeah. And like there not only that, but stories of women specifically getting possessed by men, like dead soldiers, or like sexual. There's this one story
Pazuzu's a man.
Yeah, Pazuzu's a man.
Yeah. Oh, did you also learn about like I was learning about like the depiction of Pazuzu, that when he is depicted as his full body, he often has a snake for a penis.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
As one does.
That's what does.
I mean, he has a lot of animalistic parts. Why should he not have a snake penis?
Why not also a snake penis? Yeah. Anyway.
No, but there's this one story. God, I should have written down which part. It was like India, South Asia, some culture, that area of... basically, they were concerned about women on their wedding day because they would often get possessed by sexually frustrated men who died before, like, died virgins or whatever. And they would, like, possess brides.
Okay.
And so you had to watch out for that. Okay. So, like, just weird gender stuff going on.
There is a lot of weird stuff about brides.
That's true, too.
And, like, all the weird wedding rituals we have, like, to quote-unquote protect the bride.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's what bridesmaids are for, right?
Yeah.
When they were supposed to, like, look like the bride, so any evil force wouldn't know where they were supposed to go. Anyway, yeah.
Well, and I also think in general, with women as a oppressed class, like I said, there were things about them being accused of pretending to be possessed because they wanted, like, material goods. Well,
attention. Yeah.
Why don't those women have those material goods?
Yeah.
Because they can't get jobs. Yeah. You know, like they can't, like if they don't get married to somebody who has those goods, then they're fucked. Yep. You know, so like all these things where there's like this string of possession just sort of affecting oppressed people or like people suffering hardships, like in general. Like I saw some possession stories of like slaved populations
that
being
makes sense.
Possessed.
Yep.
You know, it also made me think a little bit about the idea of this is just a tangent, but zombies, the original like hoodoo zombies, like Haitian voodoo, all that stuff, where it is kind of like, it's not possession because you're not being like, nothing is entering your body, but you are having your will taken away from you,
which is really
and being forced to do things against your will.
What is so scary about possession? And so it tracks that like the base fear of the loss of bodily autonomy and your own autonomy and dignity. It makes perfect sense that enslaved populations would deal with that.
Yeah. And I also thought it was interesting, a lot of the like Afro-diasporic religions that came up, you know, that have kind of a mix of like African religions with like Christian religions and like other local religions, you know, like almost all of them have some form of possession in their stories, but it's usually not of a malevolent nature, which is interesting to me. It's something that's used to like divine the future or like gain knowledge of some sort. It's actually like a way out, which was interesting as like a switch as you're sort of coming out of that like slavery. Like, I don't know. I once again, somebody smarter than me. These are just little bullet points that I was saying.
Coming out of generations of enslavement and forcible displacement.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're like all scrambled together with like 50 different cultures.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, what do you got? Pazuzu? Okay, cool. What do you got?
Yeah.
St. Joseph? Okay.
Cool.
We'll take it.
Let's see what they have to say about the future for us.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. There are also, of course, some examples, kind of what we were talking about with like the Christian religion influencing other religions. I'm wondering about Pazuzu and that Chaldean Christian thing that you were talking about. Because when Christian beliefs butted against like native beliefs in like Africa, Oceania, all those places that fucking Christian mercenaries went, often the indigenous, like the older gods were kind of recast as demons for the Christians to exercise. Yeah.
Well, and then also, for like the populations that are there, like they just incorporate them.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
we'll
one
just
of those.
do both.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, your gods are devils. Like, no. We're going to do both.
And then some of them got turned into, that's why there's so much talk of like, oh, he's got the spirit in him, especially in like black churches, you know, and like the Holy Spirit coming over you and like
speaking in tongues.
Which
isn't something that happens just in black churches, but I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, but like there's a thought from one thing I was reading about how maybe that was once like rituals or like guidances, possession that came from like these older traditional gods, and now it got turned into Christianity. They just sort of like, they're like, yeah, we mean, you know, the Holy Spirit.
The Spirit.
You know, the Spirit.
Yeah.
What other spirit would we be talking about? You know, so I mean, I don't know if that's, you know, true, but it was an interesting way to think of it.
Yeah.
But yes, let's talk about the Christian Bible.
Okay. Old Testament?
A little bit. Okay, so here's the interesting thing. What the Christians would call the Old Testament. I think you're better at the terminology that would be used in Judaism.
There's kind of been I'm hearing a push to refer to the Old Testament as the Hebrew Scriptures.
The Hebrew Scriptures. Okay, yeah. But yeah, so the Hebrew
My
Scriptures.
rabbi friend taught me that, so I'm like, I'm going to trust the rabbi.
Yeah. Versus what the Christians call the Old Testament, which is just kind of rude.
It is rude because honestly, the New Testament isn't that much newer.
Yeah. Honestly,
it's
like,
also over 2,000 years.
So like, what are we talking?
Or not 2,000. It's not that old, but you know it's over 1,000 years old.
Yeah. No, no. But anyway, what's interesting is that like there aren't a lot of possessions in the Hebrew Scriptures. No. The one thing that I saw that was like maybe contested, possibly a possession, is the story of King Saul, where he has this sort of weird frenzy, and there's a demon that's sort of like influencing him, or some sort of evil spirit is influencing him.
When he was Saul and then became Paul.
No,
that's New Testament. Sorry.
No, King Saul, who then David, soon to be future King David, soothes him with his lyre playing when he's his beautiful lyre playing when he's younger. Yeah, so that's like maybe a possession, but maybe it was just influence of a demon and not full possession.
Yeah,
that's like the one. That said, ancient Jewish communities, like pre-Bible Jewish communities, probably were believers in possession because there are some early writings from before, that has some talk of like exorcisms and stuff, but also just because the way they're written about in the Christian Bible, the New Testament, sort of is written in a way where it's like the audience must know what you're talking about. Like it doesn't assume that's like, oh, this is, and then this demon came into him and was doing all of this, and then we had to expel it in the, it's very like, and then there were demons and Jesus got rid of them, like one duh, it's very like everybody knows about it, sort of thing. I'll also say there's not that I saw. There were no benevolent possessions in any of the, scriptures I was reading. Mostly New Testament scriptures, because that's where they mostly are.
That's usually
the closest one is that there is a foreign woman who has a spirit in her that is allowing her to divine futures and things like that, which could be cool. But then one of Jesus's apostles is like, nope, that's an evil demon. Let me get rid of that for you. Bye. Yeah. I don't know what she had to say about it. Yeah. But according to the Christians, it was great. We got rid of that evil demon,
and everything's fine now.
Yeah. But of course, demons are, in the Christian understanding, fallen angels.
Yeah.
That's
they fell with Lucifer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what makes them spirits without physical bodies that are capable of possessing people, which did just sort of make me think about all of those saint stories about different visions and like communications that they have with different angels and things, like the Epiphany of Saint Teresa and stuff, where I'm like, I guess that wasn't a possession, but like there was definitely an influence happening there, but it was for good. So we're not going to talk about it in terms of possession, I guess, but I don't know. But so the thing though about the New Testament is that there are so many possessions and exorcisms.
Wow.
There's a lot. Jesus be exorcising.
Wow.
Like, that's like kind of what he is. Like, he can't stop exorcising these guys. That is sort of like one of his primary miracles. You know, I mean, like, we talk about it's not one we talk about as much anymore. I feel like he resurrected a guy. That's a big deal.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
He turned some water into wine.
Walked on water.
You know, he has these other ones, but the things he doing consistently.
Healing the sick.
Yeah.
And
well, that's the thing, though, is that often when he was healing the sick, he often in the same sentence where he's like, he was healing the sick and getting rid of demons.
Their demons, yes.
You know,
Yeah.
it was often like all kind of in one sentence.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that we don't talk about it. I don't know if it seems less realistic or we just don't talk about demons in the same way anymore, I guess, as there being a bunch of demens.
Yeah, I think
that's not really Christian.
At least like now in the United States, I think there's like kind of an understanding like that it's when you say you're demons, you mean it like as a metaphor.
Yeah,
like
your just sinful sensations,
the stuff you deal with because you're actually a human being. Yeah, yeah, not a demon.
Yeah, and even in earlier times, it might have been like Puritan times. It might have been like demons, devils, witches whispering at you, tempting you with these things, but it was still like your will and you are in control of yourself to either follow those or not.
Yeah.
But no, Jesus is a big exorciser. If that's how you say it. Exorcist. I guess you just say exorcist, huh?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Probably because that's a way for him to show that he has this absolute divine power, that like if he is the Son of God and also has all of the divine power of God
also
or whatever,
is God,
God, then that means he must be in control of all the angels and therefore also all fallen angels. Yeah. And so like his way of doing exorcisms is literally just be like, in my name, I command you, get the fuck out. You know? Like there's like no long rituals about it. He's just like, fucking go. Hey you. Yeah. Steve, get out of here. You know? Like he's just like, I know you guys.
Go back to hell.
I know you guys super well.
Yeah.
And he also does teach his followers to cast out demons, specifically in Jesus's name. Like you have to invoke Jesus's name.
The power of Christ compels you.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes his followers fail at their exorcisms, and Jesus has to be like, well, yeah, because your faith wasn't strong enough, idiots. Let me just take care of it for you, I guess.
My faith is strong enough.
You have little faith.
Yeah.
There was one story in the Bible. Well, first off, of course, there's Legion. Yeah, who's just he's a number of demons possessing one guy. That seems to be pretty common, that people have more than one demon. And that was kind of my understanding, and also Karis's understanding of what was going on with Reagan, until Marin showed up and was like, nah, man, it's just Pazuzu.
It's Pazuzu.
It's fucking Pazuzu. Don't worry about it. I was also thinking about, though, how the doctors are like, she has a lesion on her brain. I'm like, a lesion or a legion? Whoa.
Why are those words similar?
Yeah, because of coincidence. But the other big story, I was talking about big stories of him dealing with possessions. There are a bunch of demons possessing these like two guys. And so Jesus walks up to him and the demons are like, dude, if you're going to get rid of us, could you at least put us in some pigs so that we're not like in hell? That'd be so much better. And Jesus is like, yeah, sure. Go be in those pigs.
Go be in pigs.
And like part of the story is that it was just these two guys being possessed. And that was enough spirits to do this like whole herd or whatever you call them of pigs. It was like a bunch of pigs. Like, oh, that must have been a bunch of spirits in those guys.
Yeah.
It's like part of it. But what I like about it is that those pigs then immediately run off a cliff.
Oh.
I guess because I don't know why that's what those demons decided to do, or if it was the pigs resisting. I'm not sure. But I love that because then all of the villagers are like, okay, thanks, Jesus. Could you leave?
Yeah.
All of our pigs are dead. Could you just go now? Thanks for unpossessing these guys, I guess. But like our livestock, though, the pigs. Yeah. But that's also interesting because, of course, Pazuzu in this film, like Reagan he's always talking about Reagan as the pig, the sow, all of that stuff. Yeah. And so I'm like, so there's something in there about like pigs and things.
And possession, yeah.
And like, generally when people are possessed in the Bible, it's like pretty agreed upon that they're all like unwilling victims. And so that generally in Christian thought, they're treated as victims, you know, and they're treated well. That's why exorcisms aren't supposed to be physical. Karis to fist fight the demon. But
he's a boxer.
But part of it is because you don't want to actually hurt the person who's being possessed because they're a victim.
They're so
However, as with the idea of Jesus being like, you need to have faith if you're going to do exorcisms, it's also in some branches thought that like you are easier to possess if your relationship with God is like weak, or if you're already kind of a sinner getting tempted. Like that just makes you more of a welcome vessel. So like there is a little bit of a judgment, but like it's sort of like a give and take. Though it's not necessarily from the Bible, because the other story about possession that I like is that Mary Magdalene shows up. She's got 7 devils in her.
Holy shit.
Did you know that about Mary Magdalene?
7?
She rolled up with 7 devils.
That's too many.
That's too many. Yeah. And Jesus got rid of them.
One for each day of the week.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, she's balanced. Yeah, no. I wonder if that's that inspiration for that Florence and Machine song. But anyway, Jesus gets rid of them and then takes Mary Magdalene in. So among Mary Magdalene's other problems of being a sex worker and just a woman in general,
how dare she,
who kind of had power, she also was somebody who had been possessed. And so like the Bible makes it very clear that like previous possession, past in general, is not a barrier to like to having a greater connection with God and becoming like pure in that
strengthen
sense,
your faith.
To strengthen your faith, which is, you know, cool. I do. And then like I started looking a little bit at actual cases of quote unquote possession.
Yeah, because this novel, Blatty got the idea
from a quote unquote true story.
A quote unquote true story from the 40s that actually involved a boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there were some different original thoughts with his novel too. I think even at one point he had the demon being a woman. I think also in like the Exorcism 3 or one of the later ones, Lamashtu is the demon. So that's okay. Yeah. At least she's like fully a demon.
Right.
Unlike Pazuzu, who like is kind of a
she
cool
could
guy.
have been the demon in this movie.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Yeah.
Anyway.
But I was kind of underwhelmed by a lot of the possession stories I was reading, even the ones from like the Middle Ages or like early Renaissance or like, you know, witch trial times. A lot of them just felt like witch trials. None of them, even the people at the time were kind of like, we're not sure this is a demon possession, or even like, we're pretty sure this isn't a demon possession. You know, some of them were clearly like political moves to get rid of people they didn't like. Some of them were like kind of like popular stories about the Salem witch trials, where it's like a bunch of young girls getting hysteric,
like thinking like mass hysterias. Would they consider that to be like a type of possession?
Yeah, because there's also stories of like nuns in convents who are like a bunch of like 20-something-year-old women who were stuck away in this convent for like the rest of their life, like looking at that, and then I don't know, creating something exciting for themselves, whether through themselves or like through some sort of mass suggestion, mass hysteria, mental illness. I don't know. But like, and then, that getting kind of used to then move against being like, oh, well, it was that guy who caused them to be possessed. Let's burn that guy alive. Yeah. And then the more recent ones, like the one that you were talking about that this is based on, apparently that guy ended up being fine. He like became or he worked for NASA or something.
Cool.
Like we figured out, you know, like it came out later who that guy was.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the story doesn't check out.
Yeah.
That was like originally reported. It was like, oh no, we actually didn't there's like no sign that an exorcism was done there or that the kid was ever there. And the few guys that we have that were like, did do the exorcism, they're all like, I don't think an exorcism was necessary. Yeah, I think that he just, you know, was having tantrums or was having a mental illness like episode or something. Like I think something else was going on here.
Developmental disability.
You know, and so many, you know, today Christians looking at the Bible, like a lot of possessions are described as like, like an epileptic fit or something. They're sort of looking back at it like
textbook clinical depression.
They're sort of looking back at it and they're like, I don't think that these were. It's great that Jesus cured them.
Thank you, Jesus.
That's great. But I don't know that I would necessarily say that it's demonic. I mean, there are a lot of Christian thought now that like doesn't even believe the devil really exists, you know? So then like how could demons exist?
Yeah, because I mean, like as far as Judaism is concerned, there is no heaven or hell.
Right, yeah.
So then that makes me think like, well then what is there other than for like demons or other type of spirits to just roam the earth?
Yeah.
If there's no heaven or hell.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, that's a New Testament thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So it's, I don't know. As far as I could tell, people do sort of credit the novel and the movie for getting it right in the sense of Dr. Karras is very skeptical. And like people in the church at that time were very skeptical. They really were like, we are going to rule out everything first.
Everything
and that
else,
was true even what I saw from like the 16th century, where they were like,
whatever medicine we can do.
yeah, we're gonna see, could this be this other thing? No, it's so funny. Oh my god, I was gonna lose my mind at Karis in the novel. I'm moving a bit away from that was the majority of my literary corner. So Karis, like, I think the movie to an extent, you're talking about how it's a little ambiguous what exactly happened to Jennings. The novel makes it even more ambiguous if Reagan's even possessed. You know, there are a lot of moments, even with her like turning her head around. It's like, well, Chris just hit her head really hard. You know, like she might not have been seeing it straight.
Know what she saw.
Know?
Yeah.
That could have been like a bit of a hallucination.
You're freaked out.
Hysteria.
Yeah.
You know, like all these things. And like, how far was the head turn?
Yeah,
You know, I shouldn't turn my head away from the mic, but you know.
Yeah.
You know, so like there are these things, and Karis is like very much going through, like the doctors go through it. They're like, it's epilepsy, it's ADHD. Let's give her some Ritalin. Like, you know, it's schizophrenia. It's something else. It's some sort of somnambulism, you know? And like, even to the very end, you can sort of have a little bit of like, is this real or not? Because even Karis's final accounts, he is so sleep deprived. He is so malnourished. Like, he just walked in and this guy's dead of a heart attack.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot going on. He's going through it. How much is he really understanding? And there are accounts of people doing exorcisms. Even exorcisms where, like, looking back, you're like, well, there's no actual proof that this was an exorcism. Where the exorcists, like, maybe get so swept up in it or whatever, where they start to think they're possessed, you know, like that they've taken on the possession or started, you know, like it's catching in some ways, just the hysteria of it or the suggestion, the mental suggestion of it.
Yeah, and then that's also what happens in the movie.
Right.
That's
like
what I'm saying. says, like, take me instead, and then it does.
You little weak-ass bitch.
Yeah, so
picking out a child.
I think our modern understanding of possession and exorcism is more influenced by this movie than we're really willing to
to
say.
That's the thing. Yeah. Because even in this movie, like if you actually go back to it, and especially in the novel, they're like, I don't think this is I don't know that this is possession.
Yeah.
Like it probably is. Because we're in we're in like a fictional world, so it can be. But like there's enough ambiguity, except for, this is where the Karis, I'm so glad they got rid of this from the movie. It's not in the movie.
Good.
As far as I know, I don't recall it being in the movie. Because Karis is coming up with all these reasons for things of like, well, sure, she spoke German for a second, but Willie and Carl might have been speaking German. She might have picked some up, you know? That's like, you know, maybe she, you know, picked up some French from Sharon. She was teaching her some French, you know? It's like, you hear Latin sometimes. You know random Latin phrases, you know?
Yeah.
So he's like coming up and then like all these medical things and stuff, except for one of the logical quote unquote alternatives that Karis keeps suggesting as like an alternative. Like, we can't assume it's demons because it could very easily be this other logical thing,
which is
psychokinesis and telepathy. He's like, many church scholars agree that that is a scientific real phenomenon of people just flurling objects across the room with their mental powers. Like, Karis! Okay, 70s. I get it. 70s.
Carrie, yeah. I get it.
Yeah, I get it. There are, if you look at like the scientific journals and stuff, there have been studies where they're like, we've proven ESP. But like they haven't really, when you actually, you know, and like they've never been like reproducible and stuff. So like I understand how he thinks that maybe, but also I'm like, Karis, maybe the demon's giving her telepathy. I don't know. Why are we okay with telepathy and not demons? Like, why is that where we're drawing the line? Before demons, but after telepathy. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
But that is one of the things that, like, I think that the movie also gets right, is that he does kind of have a list of, like, what she needs to do before I can, like, go to the bishop and be like, give me permission to do, like, I need permission and I need to, like, prove that it can't be these other things. And what is the thing that seals it for him? Is it her speaking backwards, kind of? Is, like, one of his main evidence? Because it's like, how could a person do that?
Yeah. So clearly without...
Yeah. Like, it's kind of wild.
Reading it from something.
Yeah, it is kind of wild.
Yeah.
No, he has moments in the books where she's starting to speak Latin to her. Like, they're having a conversation in Latin. And then she's like, oh, but Karis, I was just reading the answers from your mind. I couldn't actually speak Latin. Whoa. And he's like, damn it, she's not a demon. She's just a telepath. Like, Karis, what are we doing? Oh, my God. But no, it seems like, yeah, they kind of get the exorcism stuff sort of right. And that's the other thing, is that, like, kind of according to the Bible, the exorcism is happening through the power of Jesus Christ. So actually kind of anyone can do an exorcism. It's the church that says no, and kind of for a good reason, which is we need to be careful that this is actually a real possession and not something that would be better treated with modern science. You know, therapy, whatever, these other things. So then the fact that, this turned into like so many people started asking for exorcisms after this.
It's true. Yeah. They really shot up after this. Yeah.
This like put exorcism on the map. Whereas before it was like nobody was fucking talking about exorcisms. The church had already kind of moved on. They're like, exorcism. Like I think Karis at one point, I don't remember if it's in the movie or the book, is like talking to Chris about it. And he's like, I honestly think you probably know more about exorcism than I do because you read some stupid black magic book about it, you know? Like, the church is not talking about exorcism. This is not our thing.
Can I talk about Chris now?
Yeah.
I got a lot of mom feelings.
Yeah. I mean, first off, how dare she leave her daughter alone sleeping with a window open for any southwest wind demon to come right in?
Yeah.
Bad mom.
Although it is on the...
Or is it the Ouija board that did it? I'm not sure.
Is it the second or third story that her...
Yeah, that's true. It's pretty high up.
So... Here's the thing, guys.
Okay.
Here's my theory.
Yeah.
Chris is an emotionally immature narcissist.
Well, she's an actor.
What did I just say? I'm kidding.
No, but actually, yeah.
But yeah. I think she is an emotionally immature narcissist, and not just because that's been coming up on my Instagram algorithm a lot lately. Because she is neglectful, at the very least emotionally, of her daughter. I've already said, like, Sharon and Carl are her real caretakers, right? And even though she's a narcissist, like, that doesn't necessarily mean that she doesn't love Reagan, right? And her work keeps her busy, and like,
I mean, she's the parent who's there.
This is true. She is the parent who's there, but her work keeps her busy, and her work puts her in places that is not appropriate for children to be.
Yeah.
And I mean, also, like, Reagan is incredibly isolated. She doesn't seem to go to school.
Right. Yeah. No, I think
like,
she's taught at home.
Tutor,
yeah.
And so, like, she
doesn't almost have friends her own age.
Yeah. Reagan is like almost sort of trapped.
Yeah.
Like, she's kind of being isolated by her mom. And she's like, you get Sharon and Carl, and maybe they'll teach you some French and German.
Yeah.
Right. So I see that with how Reagan sort of acts. You could kind of read this as the possession is like a way of Reagan sort of acting out to get attention from her mom. But the other thing that just absolutely drives me crazy about Chris is that she just keeps trying to control things she does not have control over. So, like, one of my favorite examples is when it's Reagan's birthday.
Yeah.
And so instead of just taking her daughter out for her birthday and having a nice day, she's arguing with an operator, trying to get a hold of her shitty ex-husband who's in Rome.
My understanding, though, is that that is later in the day, and they probably did already celebrate the birthday
stuff,
because, that's my, because it's like, at this point, she's already mad at him for not calling his daughter.
He hasn't called yet.
You know, so I feel like time must have passed.
Okay.
Like, he would have, I don't know. That's my thought.
Yeah.
I'm also more sympathetic to Chris than you are in general.
Yeah.
I think it's, I think she's doing her best, but I do think, like, the vibe we get is that it's very, like, here is a single working mother who is, like, therefore incapable of raising her daughter up, right? Because she's, like, a single working mother.
Yeah.
So here come a bunch of patriarchal men
to,
like, step in and protect them, not just from, like, the outside world, but from their own womanly sinfulness, sort of.
Absolutely.
Like, that's very much the vibe, which is not great.
Yeah. It's just, that was really frustrating. It's like, Chris, you're yelling at an operator who has no control over the situation, and neither do you. That guy's a piece of shit, and he didn't call his daughter on his birthday. Like, that's not your problem.
Yeah, and
Chris.
it's not the operator's.
I have a book for you to read, Chris. It's called Codependent No More. I recommend.
Can we talk about Captain Howdy?
Oh, yes.
And her dad being named Howard.
Howard, yes.
I'm putting it together. I'm seeing the dots. I'm seeing why originally a lot of the therapists were like, this is probably just some weird unresolved stuff about her dad.
Yeah.
Especially since a lot of her stuff first starts happening after her dad doesn't call on her birthday.
Yeah.
So like, yes, Chris, but also Howard.
But then also
as like a part of that, just like her parents in general, not being there and not seeing her.
Right. And what ends up happening is Reagan just witnesses her mom just being upset with her dad.
Yeah. Which I wonder how many times she had to witness that.
Exactly. With literally no way to resolve the problem, because there's no way to resolve this problem because he's made his choice.
Yeah.
And then I also think I kind of feel maybe I was getting this vibe because again we already talked about how like the medical scenes are really the most horrific.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like there's a couple of different medical scenes.
Yeah.
And I feel like I remember doctors like telling Chris like nothing's coming up. Like we can't explain it this way. We can't explain it that way. And then Reagan gets more tests.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why are you subjecting your daughter to this incredibly traumatizing thing?
It is incredibly traumatizing on the one hand. On the other hand, I don't know, almost appreciated how much he was willing to go to the wall for her daughter.
Yeah.
And like be like, listen to me.
Yeah.
There is something wrong. You were telling me, maybe this is coming from me as a perspective of somebody who has had very many things wrong with me.
Yeah.
And have had doctors tell me, it wasn't the one thing I thought it was, so I guess it's nothing.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, well, let's try
What else
other
could it
tests.
be?
You know? So like, especially reading the novel, I was like, I would love to have these daughters. Watching the movie, I felt differently. I was like, because definitely reading the novel when they were like, well, let's rule out the physical options before we get into therapy. Mm-hmm. Let's make sure it's not something medical that we need to take care of before we get into therapy. When they say that in the movie, it sounded very condescending.
Therapy?
Yeah, they were like, well, we're going to do what we're doing first, and then we'll think about your little ideas, little miss. Yeah, a therapy. I don't know. I did not like the doctors as much in the movie. When I was reading the novel, I was like, yes, these doctors are trying fucking everything to figure this out.
Doctors are practicing medicine.
And they're listening to Chris when she's like, there is something wrong with my doctor. I know nothing's coming up in the test, but there is something wrong.
Well, and she is like, also, I'm not going to institutionalize her.
Yeah.
Like,
she
we're
also
not
was like,
doing that.
Yeah.
So,
she does have a line where she's like, we're not.
Yeah, she does say that.
Crossing that.
And I mean, she's it seems like a pretty well-known Hollywood actress.
Yeah,
like, she's got the cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could do that.
Yeah, she can throw around the doctor and be like, run that test, yeah.
She has the cash to keep her daughter home and cared for at home.
Yeah.
But also it's just another way to isolate her daughter, because it's like, that's such a site where abuse could happen, to be like, my daughter is very sick. Yeah. And I'm going to keep all of the doctors out of her room. And it's just going to be like me and Sharon giving her medicines, her fucking injections and stuff.
That's true.
I don't know if it's as clear in the movie, but they put that girl on so much lithium. It's insane. To the point near the end where Karis is like, I'm not sure if we're going to get this demon out before her fucking heart stops.
Because of the lithium.
Because of the fucking drugs we have this girl on.
Yeah.
Once again, drugs and possession.
Altered mental states.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no. And actually, speaking of the novel, the demon does at one point blame Chris for all of it. He straight up is like, he's like,
gotta
quote,
blame the mom.
It is you who have done it. Yes, you with your career before anything, before your husband, before her. So, yeah. It's very much like, Chris, you're the problem because you're not well, on one hand, it feels like you're the problem because you're not a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, because you're not doing mom right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also, I just recognize the narcissism.
Yeah.
And I see her sort of treat Reagan almost more like she wants a pet. Like she wants...
I did think it was interesting
how...
that we see a shot of like a gossip magazine or whatever, and it's her posing with Reagan.
With Reagan, yeah.
I'm like, why do you have Reagan in your publicity shoots?
Yeah.
Why is she a part of this at all?
And that scene is fascinating.
Yeah.
Because like Reagan's looking at it and Chris is like, oh, don't read that. And she's like, it's not even a good picture of you talking to Reagan. And then she says, you look so mature. So to me, like what Chris would prefer is like a dog or like a doll.
Yeah, maybe.
Because she like wants Reagan to like stay this precious, sweet little baby girl who like she can just take with her wherever she goes, and
yeah, I mean, because she really does. She's like, okay, we're going back to LA now.
Yeah, stay inoffensive, sweet, innocent little girl. And like
I will see you in the evening.
Yes, that is how I will approach motherhood. And if you are not that, then I will deny you,
Right, yeah, because she does have that whole thing about like,
and not offer you emotional
give me
support.
Reagan's identical copy, like She has a whole list of like same face, same voice, same hair, like
I would
everything
know
the
it wasn't
same.
her. Yeah.
I would know it's not her.
Yeah.
Which very much made me think of like there are like theories about like all those folk tales about like fae folk and like changelings taking the baby.
Yeah.
That like maybe that was actually coming from like postpartum depression.
Yeah.
Of like basically like here's this child that's yours and you know you're supposed to love them more than like anything or whatever.
Yeah.
But instead you're feeling like different wrong emotions and you don't know why that is. So probably the problem's with the baby. Yeah. It's not really your baby. You
Must
know?
be. Yeah.
Like there must be fair folk or in this case demons causing the problem. I did get that vibe a little bit from Chris of like my daughter is acting out. There must be a like medical or maybe spiritual reason for that. It can't be my daughter.
Yeah.
This is not my daughter.
Yeah. My kid is exactly who I want her to be, not who she actually is.
Yeah.
It's giving that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say probably the reason why I'm more sympathetic of Chris is because we spent a lot more time like getting her perspective and in her head in the novel. And like she is very much like Mama Bear will do anything for Rags, you know? I also just love the nickname Rags. It's cute. Yeah, they call her Rags.
For Reagan,
Yeah, they call her Rags. I think they do it like once or twice in
Yeah.
the movie too. I think Sharon calls her Rags too.
Cute.
Yeah, no, like she actually does seem like very loving and stuff, but I also very much get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And I do think, the
love is
the overarching like message of like who Chris is in her daughter's life is like either she's a fucking narcissist horrible or the movie is trying to say something about how women should not be employed.
It should once they have kids, that's all they should be doing.
Yeah.
Totally. No, I completely agree. Yeah. And also really interesting, we haven't mentioned this yet. Chris and Reagan, 2 gender neutral names.
Oh my god, they totally are actually.
Yeah.
I didn't even think
that's
about that.
actually really interesting because everyone I don't know very many people with the first name Reagan, but
Yeah.
I know more than one, and they're all female.
Yeah.
They're all women.
I do think it is more of a girl name, but I don't know if that's just a more modern thing for it to be more of a girl name.
Yeah, maybe. Especially post the Reagan presidency.
Right.
I don't know, because this would have been before that. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
but I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, so interesting gender neutral names. Kind
Which we
of
love in a horror.
giving slasher.
Yeah, we love that in a horror.
Yeah. Yeah, because what I see, at least from Reagan, is that she's like pretty consistently like trying to engage her mother in a connection that's like developmentally meaningful for Reagan as an adolescent. She's not a little kid anymore, right?
Yeah.
She's growing up and I like, and what in my notes, like she's growing up and that is secretly her mom's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
She's going to become less innocent, more opinionated and emotional. And that's going to make Reagan harder for Chris to control.
Yeah, I definitely got the vibe that Chris was not into having that conversation about Dennings.
Nope.
She was very quickly shutting it down with like, yeah, we're friends.
Yep.
What are you talking about, crazy girl?
Yeah, but Reagan wanted to engage in that conversation.
She did.
And
She like really was.
She needed her mom to engage her in that conversation. That's like the emotional neglect.
Yeah.
Like
to be like, I understand why you might think that because you're used to seeing like in so many stories, men and women together automatically has to be romantic, but like men and women really can be
which
friends.
is a good point.
You know, like she needed to have like a full conversation
and,
about
like,
it.
You need to
and that
like,
may have led to Brooke Nettings' death. So
and now like because Reagan wants to have a conversation, like wants to understand the nature of relationships. Yeah, because like this is something that she's probably starting to think about. Yeah, you know, and I think that
especially with her dad being gone, and then with Sharon having a new horse boyfriend.
Yeah,
who knows what Reagan saw when? I mean, probably nothing like explicit or whatever, but like Sharon greeting her new horse boyfriend and being like, "Here's Ray," you know, introducing Reagan to her boyfriend. Yeah. Maybe not as her boyfriend, but like...
Because this is the thing is that kids
pick up on things.
Kids pick up on because they're like that part of the development of their brain is set up to pick up on everything.
It has
so
to.
you can learn and survive.
And then so it takes adults to put it in context.
Yeah, and you need to be able to have somebody to talk about your feelings with. Mm-hmm. And Chris is just like, oh, he's just a friend. Yeah. And I'm like, I think Reagan's actually... I think Burke isn't really the topic of conversation here.
I think really this is a conversation about
relationships and the relationships between men and women.
Yeah.
And I feel like Chris
and it didn't help for Chris to be like, oh, well, I'll always love your dad.
Gives her the cliff notes of men and women can be friends. It doesn't always have to be romantic. I'll always love your dad. I'm not having sex with Burke.
Yeah.
She's having sex with Burke.
Oh, do you think?
Yeah. I think something's going on with her and Burke. Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I thought she was honestly half the time kind of didn't even like him that much. Mm-hmm. He's very lonely.
Yeah.
And has a big addiction problem.
And a mean drunk. Yeah.
And she is kind of, I guess, codependent, like you were saying.
Yeah.
She lets people, she allows herself to be what people need of her. Chris does, I think, in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And so she allows herself to be a place that Burke can go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I never got anything actually sexual or romantic between them.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, because there's only really that one scene where she's actually being an actress.
Yeah,
you know, and she doesn't understand the scene because it sounds like the writing's bad.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know what really annoyed me about that? Because I'd already started reading the book. Mm-hmm. In that scene, she is supporting the student protesters.
Oh.
And in the movie, she's shutting the protesters down.
Yeah.
That's a fucking weird change.
What were they protesting?
It was unclear.
Vietnam, probably.
I mean, well, no, they were protesting something to do with the school specifically.
Oh, okay.
Something like it was plot relevant.
Okay.
You know,
in the movie.
Yeah.
And Chris is just like, I don't really understand. You know, what's the motivation here? Mm-hmm. And Burke can't answer the question because he doesn't know.
Yeah.
It sounds like
and they make some jokes about
sounds like a bad script. Yeah.
Sex or something.
Yeah. And then what does he say to Chris? Like, well, you can talk to the writer.
But he's in Paris.
Paris or some shit.
Yeah, and she's like, what is he doing in Paris? And he's like, I don't know, fucking.
Oh, what? Doesn't Chris say, like, hiding?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
she
from
says
this shit script
yeah, that's
he
what
wrote?
She does. Yeah. There's some good dialogue in this movie.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, and then we see Karis in the background who's just sort of watching the spectacle, kind of laughing. Yeah. It's like, oh, a priest is laughing at a dirty joke. Yeah. He's a special priest. Mm-hmm. Perhaps even a hot priest.
A hot priest.
But then we meet Dyer and we realize that, no, priests are just like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because, like, to me, like, Reagan is looking... Her mom is a role model.
Yeah.
Obviously. So she's looking...
Yeah, and she definitely looks up to her mom.
Yeah, she's looking to her mom on how to behave.
Yeah.
Especially as a woman. Mm-hmm. Right?
And with no other peers, her own age.
Yeah, right?
Should, like, bounce off these ideas off of.
So... And then... Also, what I already told, like, how Reagan probably picked up the word cunting, from Burke. She probably heard him say that. And, like, actually the string of curse words that Reagan says when she's possessed is actually the same string of curse words that Chris says when she's cursing at the operator on the phone. You know, so it's like, it does make the possession, quote unquote, as like an allegory for just a young girl in adolescence
trying to make sense of everything,
get some attention from her mom and figure out because some crazy shit is going to start happening to her. She's going to need her mom to help her out. I know. I kept thinking about at the end of the movie about like what a weird little religious freak Reagan was going to grow up to be, which is interesting because at least in the movie, like, her and Chris do not have a religious affiliation.
There's something about, once again, I cannot remember if it was the book or the movie or both, but like she did learn a little bit about God from Sharon, you know, just in terms of
studying,
in the sense of Reagan asked her a question because you know she heard about God because she lives in America
and she's,
you know, the United States is steeped in Christ,
a curious adolescent.
And I think Sharon gave some answer that wasn't even that big of an answer, but just sort of like, you know, in my belief, because I am Christian, blah, 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 and heaven, blah, 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 God, blah, blah, blah. And Chris is like kind of mad at her about it.
Was it not a good enough explanation?
No, just in terms of like, why did you bring up God with my daughter? Are you trying to like indoctrinate my daughter?
I see.
You know, we're an atheist household.
Your daughter asked because she's curious.
Because she's curious. Yeah. And she wanted to know. And Sharon is a good teacher.
Yeah. Looks like it. Seems like Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon seems chill. Yeah. Justice for Sharon.
Yeah.
I hope she went so far away.
Yeah.
She took her horse friend. She got on the back of that horse and they just fucking rode.
Galloped into the sunset. Yeah. I kind of feel like we've been queued up perfectly to talk about puberty.
Yes, because I know that's what you really wanted to talk about. Yes.
Okay. Ready for my genre corner?
Yes. Okay. Let's talk. Yeah.
Yeah, because really, this is my deep thought.
Yeah.
This is it for me. Like that possession is a great metaphor for so many things, like we've already been talking about. But it is a particularly potent metaphor for puberty and specifically female sexuality.
Yeah.
So like to me, like was like, oh, she actually possessed blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, we're supposed to believe that she's possessed by this demon Pazuzu. But also this could be explained as the fact that Reagan's puberty is pubertying.
Yeah.
So,
this is maybe a heightened version of it or whatever, but.
Like a monstrous version of it, right? The horror movie version of it.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the term menarche?
Menarche, isn't that menstruation related?
Yes.
Okay.
So menarche is...
Menarche, yes.
Or menarche, it might be menarche.
Oh,
I think it's menarche. Anyway, is the term for someone's very first menstrual period.
Yes.
And I Googled it, and, the 2025 data says that on average in the U.S., menarche starts at 12.4 years old.
Okay.
Reagan is 12.
Yeah.
Is that her 13th birthday, or what?
She's like 12 or 13.
12 or 13.
I don't know.
Anyway,
she's in there.
She's
of the age.
She's smack dab in menarche territory. Yeah. And then, of course, we've already talked about how her medical experiences are very traumatic.
Yes.
And so there's real life examples of these, like, quote unquote possession stories that involve usually young girls. Mm-hmm. And they just so happen to all be right about the time of their first period. Right? So people who concern themselves with such things, meaning possessions, So I got this from last podcast on the left. So like they talk about this a lot. So reach out to Henry Zabrowski if you don't like, don't believe me because I got this from him. That happens a lot. People who like kind of concern themselves with like possession or poltergeist, like kind of look into these things. They often find a young girl, 11 or 12, just about ready to start her period.
You know what's really funny? You know that thing I was talking about with Karis where I was annoyed about his telepathy and psychokinesis stuff? Mm-hmm. He also brings up that it's very common for that to happen among young girls of that age group.
Well, and so I think this is the idea. This is the idea that I got from Henry Zabrowski.
Like, my idea was that, like, people just can't handle big emotions.
So that, yes. But my big idea is that, and that I basically got from Henry Zabrowski, is that menarche creates an incredibly powerful psychic energy.
Yeah.
That's
literally what Karis is talking about. That's why things are getting flung around the room.
Yeah.
The psychic energy is so hard, so big, so powerful. The
psychic energy is a lot. And so it makes sense to me, and like the way that society treats who they perceive to be a girl versus who they perceive to be a woman, right? Could also create some pretty powerful psychic energy.
Yeah.
Including like damaging psychic energy to Reagan.
Yeah.
Right? Like she's... puberty is a wonderful example of a liminal space.
Yes.
And liminal spaces are great for horror.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We hate transitions.
They're creepy. They're uncertain.
Yeah.
We're between one thing or the other. We can't
that.
define hate that.
We want rigidity.
Yep. We want boxes.
Black and white.
So, I kind of think about like, oh, well, Reagan is like, she's entering adolescence. She's going to start menstruating soon if she hasn't already. She's going to develop into a woman, and she's going to start being treated like a woman. Mm-hmm. And that can be horrifying.
Yeah. As somebody who has been treated like a woman.
When we were children.
Yes.
I remember, I have a very vivid memory. I think it was you, me, and Lorraine, and we were walking to the mall because that's what we did because we were 13 13-year-old girls, and we were just like walking down the bike path going to the mall, and like a dude, like a grown man,
on like a bike,
biking past us, just said like, nice tits.
Yes, I remember that.
Like, we are 13.
Yeah.
And did you get catcalled when you were with Amanda or something?
Oh God, yeah. When we were, my friend with her baby brother, toddler brother, and we were taking him on a little walk in his fucking stroller, and like we're clearly. I don't know. I just feel like there's not a more inappropriate time to catcall children than when they also very much have an even smaller child with them. Yeah, I'm just like, really now?
Really now? Yeah.
2 young girls taking this.
Do you remember what they said? It doesn't matter.
Something about our asses.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact thing.
About your body.
It was summer. We were both wearing short dresses because it was hot.
Because it's hot and it's summer.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking about also, I mean, the whole controversy around dress codes. My school does not really have
we
a
don't
dress code. Like, those aren't really things anymore.
There's honestly some things I wish they would dress code.
Yeah.
I wish, like, I'm sick of seeing alcohol and marijuana labels on my students' clothing at school. Like, we don't need that.
Yeah, that's fair.
We don't need that. But, like, tube tops, crop tops, showing your belly. Who gives a fuck? Yeah.
When
Anyway,
it used to be a thing where you couldn't show straps, like bra straps or whatever. Like,
I actually,
that's a part of clothes. I don't care if
again,
I see bra straps.
have a very, like, this is the trauma of being
Yes.
an adolescent girl. I also have another incredibly vivid memory of being in middle school in 7th grade and actually feeling good about myself. I remember that I was like, in middle school, I was at whatever outfit I was wearing.
You were rocking it.
I really liked it. I liked the way I looked in it.
Did you still have your cute bangs?
The way I felt. No,
or did you grow those out?
I was growing out my bangs.
That's true. You never liked them.
I never liked them. I was growing them out. So I was like very much like kind of having like sort of a like gender euphoria moment.
Yeah, you're just like,
in a way, like, yes, this is me. This is who I'm meant to be. And as I'm just walking down the hall, minding my own goddamn business, one of the science teachers says, "Erika, you need to pull your shirt down. Your stomach's showing." And I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
okay, heard.
Yeah,
I get it now. Yeah,
yeah. No, I was thinking. Yeah, no, I was thinking of one time in. Actually, this would have been high school, like sophomore year, where I was like not feeling good for some reason.
So many reasons not to feel good.
Yeah, I was fucking in high school.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever guy I was dating at the time, I was like kind of curled up on him on like just one of those benches, not even one of those like comfortable. Nothing comfortable, just those the little benches that were attached to the little picnic table things that we had in the hallway.
Yeah.
I was like sort of half laying on that, and some adult who I think was like one of our outside sort of like quote unquote recess supervisors. I never went outside to any of the like anywhere. We had little courts and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I did not know this adult is my point.
Yeah.
And she comes over and she actually pulls me aside, and she's like, "You laying down like that is really inappropriate. It's going to make people think things about you."
Oh,
I'm like, what
things? Do you remember? Oh my God, this could be the rest of the podcast.
I know.
Do you remember when we were 9th graders and we went to San Francisco with band?
Oh yeah.
And that someone's mom was like, "You really should have a boy with you.
Yes.
When you go, you should have a boy with you." And then because we were in that hotel and we decided like, we're going to go get In-N-Out. Because there was In-N-Out nearby. It was like 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
And you remember we were walking and like other band kids had already gotten their dinner and they were going back.
Yeah. We were all just hanging out.
And we walked past.
And it was like a fine area.
We walked past him and his friends as they were going back to the hotel. They had just eaten. And we were like, we're going to go to In-N-Out, get some food. And he said, "Don't get raped."
Oh my God, yes, I do remember that. That was like a joke people would say to each other, though. That was not the only time I heard that. It was a thing that, some of the girls would say to each other, too, as like a tongue-in-cheek joke. Yeah. Be safe. Don't get raped. Like, yeah.
Cool.
I love the reminder of that,
I love
of my sexual peril.
I love this culture.
I love this culture.
I feel so safe.
Yeah.
So dignified. Yep.
Yeah.
So basically, like, this is what's happening to Reagan. Reagan is experiencing
I can only imagine
girl puberty.
Like you were talking about with Burke Dennings, like, was there some threat there?
Yeah,
I don't know if there was with him, but her being,
I'd like to believe no.
Her being at an adult party as the only child, which we know she
was.
It's
at her house.
It's at her house.
Yeah.
But like being that, I don't know. I go back to stories. My mother, this is kind of her era.
Yeah.
And her dad, my grandfather, was a big time movie producer. They would have parties at their house with a bunch of famous people who are used to not really hearing the word no. And it would be, she has so many stories about, I mean, I could name drop people, but like, famous adult men being so inappropriate to her as like the only young girl at the party who they could say and do inappropriate things to, like getting, like she's just hanging out outside in like their hot tub and like they show up like naked and get in the hot tub with her when she's like, 12 or whatever.
She's 12,
like things like that. Like all, like she has so many stories. Like she has worse stories than that, Like I can only imagine that was probably a similar culture that Reagan's in of like, what kind of guys are you having at this party? If they're guys like Burke Dennings, who is telling some random dude he doesn't know, "I think there's a pube in my drink. Is it yours?"
Yeah, right.
Like,
just calling people Nazis.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what is Reagan hearing at these parties? And what are people specifically saying to her at these parties? I don't know.
Right. So this isn't a new understanding, right? Because like we talked about, like everybody said everything about this movie.
Yeah.
But like, it's not a new thought to like see Reagan's possessed behavior as just like super par for the course for somebody entering puberty.
Yeah.
And so as a health educator, this is something I teach and talk about a lot. And that I'm going to use the terms male and female. Male and female puberty are actually way more similar than anybody really likes to think.
Yeah.
Everybody's growing more hair. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got way more hormones.
Yep.
Mostly everybody is starting to think about sex. Mm-hmm. And weird new shit is coming out of them.
Yeah.
That's literally everyone. They're, experimenting with masturbation. Perfectly normal for everyone in puberty, not just boys.
Yeah.
Because there is that like, when Reagan is kind of starting to devolve, Chris is like, I couldn't sleep. Like Reagan's bed was shaking all night. And they're like, first of all, you're not like, what's up with her bed? And then she sees it again and sees the shaking and be like, oh, that couldn't have been it. And
well, and at first they think it's some sort of like seizure situation.
A seizure situation. Yeah. And so like this idea of like,
which is also concerning. I mean,
it's concerning. Yeah. Like the idea of masturbation is like the bed shaking is like kind of a thing about masturbation, and I'm like, yeah. And then she's starting to kind of disregard her parents, and she's using new language in defiance of her parents, and there's new weird stuff coming out of her body.
Can we also talk about, I don't know, maybe you're already queuing up for this,
yes,
in which case we can save it, but the crucifix scene?
So this was another thing that was like, this was written, directed, produced, and edited by men.
Yeah.
So that's not how women masturbate.
Oh, no. Did you read the part about the body double who actually plays her during that part?
Yes.
Or at least her lower body during that part?
Yes.
Because they did not have the Linda Blair do that.
No. Yeah,
God,
of course
no.
not. No. Because she was 12. Yeah,
about how she had to argue with Friedkin, the director, to be like, that's not how we do it.
It's not how you masturbate. This is
as a woman with a woman body.
With a woman body, yeah.
With a vagina.
That's not right.
Yeah.
So I found a couple of really great articles that I...
Was that scene hard for you to watch? Because that's always, like, with the medical scene, that was another scene that was popped up a little bit as, like, that was hard to watch.
It is hard to...
And is that just because it's a young person being sexual?
Yeah, it's because it's a girl. And, well,
which is what I assumed would make it bad.
Yeah.
Nobody before, like, I knew that scene existed.
Mm-hmm,
I heard about it. Yeah, masturbating with a crucifix. Yeah, whatever. It's in the zeitgeist or whatever. I did not realize how much blood was involved in it.
That's
bloody as hell.
That's not masturbation. That's self-mutilation.
Yeah. Well, because the idea in the novel, they're like, she broke her hymen. I'm like, okay, first of all,
who gives a fuck? Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I'm like,
let me tell you a little something about the hymen.
That amount of blood?
Yeah.
Is that normal when you break your hymen?
No, it's not.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the medical. I don't know. But that was a lot of fucking. I was like, this is not a masturbation scene. No. This is a self-mutilation scene. Yeah. Also, can we talk about Pazuzu at that point? Is when he finally says, the sow is mine.
The sow is mine. Yeah.
That's the moment when he has fully claimed Reagan. Mm-hmm. At this moment of like consummation, like it's a marriage, like he is possessing her through sex, as you would in a marriage. Like a marriage wouldn't be official until it was consummated.
Yeah.
And so he is doing that to her, which is, just gave me a lot of like young women forced into marriages that they didn't want to, and then having it needing to be consummated for it to be official. That sort of thing.
The age old, what is it, an adage? That men act and women are acted upon.
Yeah.
So anyway, I found some great articles. Found this article by Jasmine Elizabeth called "Finding the Horror in Womanhood."
Jasmine Elizabeth is just a cute name.
It's a great name, yeah.
I'm a fan of an Elizabeth as a Catherine Elizabeth.
Yes, you are. So it was a really great article, and I basically just distilled like this one little piece that I want to read to you.
Yeah.
It says, which is basically what we've been saying, but this is how Jasmine says it. It says, society harbors a particular disdain for young girls entering puberty in ways that directly contrast its outlook on young boys entering puberty. In this transitional phase, while young men are seen as being on the road to becoming what society deems to be a man, and we've got other episodes where you can talk about what society deems to be a man and why that's not great.
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. On the road to what society deems to be a man, young girls are seen as experiencing a point in their lives where they transition from being young and innocent to one in which they learn about sexuality. Mm-hmm. So, and then this is me, like when girls enter puberty, right? Mm-hmm. They begin to discover sexuality, right? They kind of like understand like, oh, okay, now I kind of like understand. Like they might, usually know what sex is before puberty, but like I honestly think that's why like at least this happened to me in elementary school. Maybe this didn't happen to you, but like where people will come in and like try and get elementary school students to like sign like chastity agreements. Yeah. Because they're in.
We even had one of those in high school. Do you remember that? One went around in high school. It was in our like our homeroom classes.
No.
They passed them out in our homeroom classes. Yeah.
No.
And it was like optional, obviously. If we obviously. Yeah. I don't know how it got. It was like I think it was some student group.
Right.
Which is how it happened.
Probably
but like,
how it happened, yeah.
But I was just like,
what?
I distinctly remember there were like two other kids who were in our IHS, which was our weird little sub school within our school, and we all just sort of looked at each other because we had real sex ed at this point.
Yeah, we got real sex ed,
and we were just like, "What the fuck?"
Because they didn't.
They don't. Yeah,
I know.
Some kids don't get real sex ed.
They still kind of don't because their parents can opt them out of it.
Yeah.
So they understand very poorly how their own body, but also how other people's bodies work. So it's so important to understand how other people's bodies work.
Yeah.
So anyway, so as the, young girls are entering puberty, they, kind of discover sexuality. Like they might have known what sex was, but maybe didn't necessarily have an interest in engaging with it.
Yeah.
Again, which is why I kind of think like those kinds of groups go into elementary schools when the kids are young and not in that part of their development yet, and be like, don't have sex until you get married. Like for a fifth grader, it's like, okay, I don't care about sex, so okay.
Yeah.
And then you hit puberty and you're like, oh
wait,
I get it now.
Well, we also had abstinence only people come in and talk at our middle school.
Sure did. Yeah.
And I just remember how much they used humor to really get on our good side.
She was hilarious.
So funny. She did a whole little comedy routine.
Yeah.
Like I remember just adoring her.
She was hilarious.
And then at the end she was like, so never have sex because then you'll get pregnant and die or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
because we were on that cusp there where it's like some of us. Because I think I didn't care at that point, really. And probably a lot of us developmentally didn't care yet. And some of us did. And we were all kind of like, in that mid-range where they could still kind of pounce on us.
Yeah.
And we were before that era. A little bit after than us was the Jonas Brothers with their
rings.
Their
yes,
rings.
Yes. Yeah, no.
Their little promise chastity rings.
Yeah. Which, of course, is a fantastic way to sell sex without selling sex.
I know.
Perfect.
To be like, I know. It's so good. It's very Britney Spears with her little schoolgirl uniform.
They knows exactly what they are doing.
They're so pure. They're such good little children. Not thinking about sex by talking about sex and how they're not going to think about or do it.
Yeah. So obviously, like this transition, right? When a girl loses that innocence of her childhood and becomes what we consider to be a woman, well, like, and discovering maybe her own sexuality, then like we really run the risk of women gaining their own agency and like
their
maybe
desires and
even
interests
like
and
a sense of self.
Oh my god!
Outside of society's rigidly prescribed gender roles, and so that's just like obviously an absolute no-go for the patriarchy, right?
Yeah.
And so this is where possession comes in.
Yeah.
Okay, possession's coming back. You were mentioning, as you were looking at possession stories, that they tend to be women.
Yeah.
And the same is true in Hollywood films. That Wikipedia has a list, what is Wikipedia, so, take that what you will. Wikipedia has a list of 37 films about exorcism.
Okay.
And
specifically about exorcism.
Exorcism.
So not just like possession.
Yeah.
Because
that's a different list.
Yeah.
They have films about possession and then they have films about exorcism. So on Wikipedia's list of films about exorcism, there are 37 of them, and 22 of those 37 are female possessions.
Because that's the thing about like specifically exorcism versus possession. Like the possession is scary, but if it's a possession where it's like, well, the person is already dead in there. Like, we talked about how fucking the Evil Dead is kind of a possession thing going on.
Yeah, the Deadites kind of have a possession thing going on.
But they're like dead being possessed. Yeah. Like the people are dead and like
and
there's
then
no saving them.
Or reanimate their body.
Whereas exorcism stories are about saving the person who is possessed.
Yeah.
It's not about fighting against this evil that has possessed something and is like just using this body as like a tool.
Yeah.
It's about there's like a victim in there who we are going to save.
Yes.
And victims, especially in horror, need to be women.
They do. Well,
That's the whole thing. We talked about that last episode with our final boy.
of course, yeah. So I have read this other article called "The Exorcist: Puberty is Hell."
Yeah.
By Kristen Thurkelson.
Sure.
Thurkelson, great name. And so what they say about it is the Western world loves a good lady possession story so much it basically becomes the modern horror equivalent of a princess locked away in her ivory tower awaiting rescue. Yes, Kristen. Yes.
Go off. Exactly. Yep. That's like exactly what I was trying to say, but like you just said it.
Yeah. So films such as these, like The Exorcist, almost universally remove the female victim's agency,
yes,
leaving her quote unquote self trapped inside her own body as a demon who is usually male has its way with her.
Yep.
This idea of possession, and you've mentioned that like possession is something that we have a cultural understanding of almost everywhere, but at least like our Western understanding of possession is deeply tied to Catholicism and the church, right? And so possession, at least in our Western imaginations, we would think of a possession being inspected by priests.
Yeah.
Which are men.
Yeah.
Can only be men.
This is like a weird connection, but I'm thinking about how, before really big deal marriages in like noble houses, like, the Russian court or the English court, wherever, in the times of monarchies actually having power or whatever, how women would be inspected for virginity.
Yes.
And so often they were being inspected by male doctors because men were allowed to be doctors.
Yeah.
And that this is really just an excuse for them to get sexually molested.
Yeah, it's also...
like by ensuring their purity, we're going to put our hands on you.
It's impossible to...
also the science of it doesn't. Yeah. But just...
Again, this is people who don't know how hymens work. And it's really, really important to know how bodies work.
Yeah. But because I feel like that's very similar with the possession stories of like... we are going to save you and your purity and your goodness by being just all over you.
Yeah. So
and putting our will up on you.
It's sort of, it kind of creates the contrast because the demon is exhibiting violent behavior, including violent sexual behavior, right? And priests are famously celibate. So they're like this perfect counter to that sexualized demon that is taking the female victim.
Yeah.
So then
they're the
man,
good, pure, chivalrous knight.
Yeah, they get to be good and evil. And like I already mentioned, like Reagan's just kind of the plaything.
Yeah, she's just bouncing around between
righteous and eternal battle.
Yeah.
And upholds a term I just learned and love, and it makes perfect sense, biblical patriarchy.
Ooh.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
And so I found those two really great articles just to be like, guys, the demon is puberty.
Yeah.
The demon is puberty.
And men being weird about puberty.
And men being weird about...
Plus Chris.
Just people being weird about girls developing into women.
Yeah.
And not knowing how to deal with that in an okay way.
Maybe also a tangent, but I don't know if we see it as much. We see it a little bit in the movie. Carl is so caring for Reagan during her possession. I think maybe partially the vibe I got is because he's used to taking care of his daughter who's a drug addict, it's basically the same thing, because that's the other thing possession is just drug addiction. But like, I don't know, really multiple points in the book, at least, maybe less so in the movie, I got the feeling that Carl was kind of the one person who was seeing Reagan as just like a person who needed to be taken care of.
Yeah. She's a kid.
Yeah.
Who needs more attention than she's getting.
More often than anybody else was mentioned as being in her room, just watching her, just keeping an eye on her.
Just keeping an eye. Yeah.
While she's sleeping or while she's raging or whatever she's doing. Carl is the one who's fucking there. But all these other people around her, like that was my one exception. Basically everybody else around her.
Yeah.
Even Sharon, from the moment that she's being like possessed, Reagan is being possessed, that she's going through all of this, they are no longer treating her as Reagan. They are treating her as this thing that they need to now deal with. Yeah. That is a problem to be dealt with.
It's a problem to be dealt with, yeah. Well, and I also think that's also a huge part of possessions that I don't really think we've touched much on it, but you did mention like what Father Dyer was saying to Chris, and that kind of the end is like... the purpose is to harm as many people as possible.
Oh yeah, no, Marin says that.
Yeah. Marin, yeah. Like,
yeah.
The purpose is like, we will, like, what is your most precious thing? An innocent young girl?
That's who I'm going
We
for.
will corrupt it, and we will make everybody upset about it.
Yeah.
That's what gives them power.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that's kind of funny coming from Marin, who is specifically showing up like, I don't care about that little girl.
Yeah, right.
I only care about this fucking demon. He and me go way back.
We go way back. Yeah.
He's my nemesis.
We're nemesis.
It's a very special relationship we have.
So as I was reading those two articles that I loved, I think actually both of them cite another essay by Shelley Lindsay called Horror, Femininity, and Carrie's Monstrous Puberty. And
Yes.
we were talking off mic that we had...
That sounds familiar.
There's
to
no
me.
way we didn't talk about this when we
It's
talked about
entirely
Carrie.
possible we even referenced it in
We
the episode
probably
and
did.
we don't remember.
But it
sounds
came,
very familiar.
It came
We at
back
least
and
read
it's
it.
super duper relevant to The Exorcist as well.
Because I also have been thinking about Carrie a lot. Because I know puberty is something we talked about. Of course we talked about it when we were talking about Carrie. But just, that trope in general that we talked about of psychokinetic stuff, possessions, paranormal activity, ghosts, acting around, pubescent.
It's a lot of energy.
Girls.
Like, developing into an adult. Like, that makes sense. There's a lot of energy there.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went to go read through
that again.
some of that. It was long. So I read some of it.
So maybe we didn't read it the first
Yeah. I read some of it. But there's a couple parts of it that are like, just really hit home. I'm just going to wrap up with this. So she says, the ways in which horror films express societal fears of young women entering womanhood, like depictions of possessed or demonic young women, stems from realities, prohibitions surrounding first menstruation and menstruating women that exist in many cultures and are grounded in fears that during menses, a woman is polluted or possessed by dangerous spirits. And then she goes on to talk about what Freud dubbed an exceptional state.
Oh, I love to hear from Freud.
I understand so kind of thinking as menstruation and puberty as exceptional states.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is funny because it happens once a month.
But it doesn't happen to everyone. Right.
Yeah.
So like menstruation and puberty. So these exceptional states actually like foster taboos because people don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Right. So Lindsay clarifies, poised between natural and supernatural realms, then the menstruating adolescent girl occupies a liminal space. And that's it, right? Liminal spaces can feel super unsettling. They can even feel dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, because from the moment that a girl menstruates, she is now in between being a girl and being a woman, and it is unclear if we are allowed to sexualize her or not.
Is she... Yeah, she's neither or is she both.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to treat you?
Yeah.
I have to know.
Yeah. Am I allowed to sexualize you?
Level,
Let me know,
and
because I'm going to.
And how much you've menstruated tells me how I'm allowed to treat you.
Yeah.
So...
Are you a sweet, precious angel baby?
Yeah.
Which is it?
Who's not allowed to be anything else but a sweet, precious angel baby. Yeah.
Which is it?
So, yeah, liminal, it can feel unsettling. It can feel dangerous. Like, I mean, this is kind of what the Backrooms was about, you know? For the person who is experiencing that liminal space and for the people who are witnessing probably a loved one in that liminal space, it can be really hard, you know?
I mean, and for that matter, we don't really know. How do I put this? In horror films, it's very rare, I feel like, where we're actually getting it from the perspective of that person in that liminal space.
Yes.
In these sorts of stories, I guess I mean. We do in Carrie, more or less.
We do kind of get Carrie's
Though
perspective.
there is a sort of distance from her in a way that I'm not sure about, where we can't quite be inside her mind. But I don't know. Yeah, so much of this, it's like, what was that experience like for Reagan? At the end, she just doesn't remember it.
They
She's
say
moved
she
on.
doesn't
She's fine.
remember. So
I'm like, true?
Was she in a
True facts?
coma?
What was that?
Was it just...
But she also has enough of a residual memory that when she sees Father Dyer's little priest collar, she's like, oh, and
you
kisses him on the cheek.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, I don't know about that.
So this is my final thought.
Yeah.
You know, the liminal space, people don't like uncertainty. So people want to feel like they can do something about it or control it somehow. And like, even if they really have the best of intentions, like that's just not how it works. Again, everybody should read Codependent no more. But
yeah, chaos is part of the world.
And so Chris kind of embodies that as a character, right?
Yeah.
Like she
She wants answers.
Yeah, she represents the societal forces that are trying to control the outcome of what Reagan is going through.
Yeah.
And Chris really wants to control who Reagan will become, right? As opposed to like who Reagan is.
Yeah.
You know, and again, it just kind of goes with the narcissistic and emotionally immature parenting. That's like, you are what I want you to be, and anything like, and that's the condition of my love. And the minute that you are no longer what I want you to be, you have lost my conditional love.
And that is an interesting thing in terms of just like the framing of the story, where we meet Reagan at the moment where she first becomes possessed, as far as we know, because that's the moment like we're introduced to her when Chris comes in being like, what's that sound? We've got rats in the basement.
Yeah.
And Carl has to be like, no rats, very clean, very clean,
Clean
God damn it. You know, so like we never really know who Reagan even is without, I mean, we get glimpses of her and her, you know, pre-possession state kind of, but like we don't really know. Father Karras never knew her pre-possession. You know, none of the priests did, actually.
She doesn't seem to have any friends or peers.
No, it's like we really don't know Reagan.
Yeah.
Or what Reagan would think.
Yeah.
I still think she's going to be a real weirdo when she grows up.
A real weirdo.
Even if she doesn't remember any of it.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's how she responds to seeing a priest scholar is kissing this dude on the cheek.
Yeah.
Girl's going to be freaky. Weird. And I love that for her. I'm sure the sequels have her get like repossessed or something, but in my headcanon, she just grows up to be a weirdo.
A weirdo.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to let a girl grow up to be a weird woman sometimes.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, so we were saying instead of
archetypes.
Instead of doing a game,
Yeah.
we were going to take a which Mesopotamian god are you?
I hope I get Pazuzu.
Let's see if we're possessed.
Okay, so
I mean, well, that's the other thing is that I don't know a lot of Mesopotamian gods.
I don't either. No.
So we're gonna
So
let's see if we get any.
We're taking this quiz on uquiz.com, and there's only 7 questions.
Yeah, so we'll get through this quick.
Okay, so
and it was by Kim Mathy. I went back so I could see it.
Or, do you want me to read the first question?
Sure.
Okay, what would you consider your strongest quality? Answer, please choose one. My passion, my compassion, my charisma, the influence I wield, my ambition, I am always honest, and I am intuitive. I'm going with I'm intuitive. Because my passion is not a very strong quality. It doesn't get me very far, actually.
Because it has to be, it's like maybe we have these things, but is it my strongest quality?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually not a fan of my compassion. It's a real, I'm going to say, for better or worse, I am very honest as a person.
Yeah.
I will say that's a very strong aspect of my personality is my honesty. I'll go with that.
God. Oh my gosh. Sound guy Matt should be here.
Favorite mid-2000s anime. Okay, I'll read it this time.
Yes, please.
Inuyasha, Dragon Ball Z, Death Note, Cowboy Bebop, Sailor Moon, Pokemon, or Naruto. Honestly, all great choices.
All great choices. I'm going to go with Pokemon.
Yeah.
Are you going to go with Dragon Ball Z?
Of course. Well, because, yeah.
And if Sound Guy Matt were here, he would say Naruto.
Yeah. Though in the mid-2000s,
yes,
he would say Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, if it were the mid-2000s, he would be saying Dragon Ball Z. But now he's Naruto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go Pokemon, baby. Indigo League.
Indigo League. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I was a Digimon girl.
What would you consider your greatest weakness?
Okay.
My arrogance. I lack individuality. I'm bad with people. I'm impulsive. I'm facetious. Doesn't that mean like sarcastic?
Yeah, you make jokes of things.
Yeah,
you don't take things seriously.
Yeah. I let people walk over me, and I am candid to a fault.
Well, I already said I was that. But I don't consider that a weakness.
I'm pretty facetious.
Yeah, I know. I just love the word facetious. It's one of my favorite words.
I'm pretty facetious. And you know what? Especially like, I can be pretty arrogant too. I can be arrogant for sure.
I feel like I am bad with people, but I don't
think being facetious is weakness.
I think being facetious is great.
Yeah, my arrogance is a weakness for sure.
In terms of what I would consider a weakness, it would be being bad with people. I don't know if other people would feel that I am bad with people, you know?
You feel like you're bad with people?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
My exes would agree.
Fuck them.
Okay, let's see. Which Keanu Reeves do you relate with the most?
Oh my.
Okay. Bill and Ted.
Okay.
Point Break,
Okay.
John Wick, Speed, Constantine,
Great movie.
Much Ado About Nothing. He's the bad guy in that.
Oh.
Or Cyberpunk.
Punk. Okay, so I haven't actually seen that many of these movies.
I know. I didn't even know there was a Cyberpunk film that he was in.
Neither did I.
I am familiar with Constantine. Have not seen.
I haven't watched Speed since the literal 90s.
I know. Yeah, like when it came out.
Yeah.
Which I did like it.
Constantine I haven't seen in a while, and I like that movie, but it's actually not because of Keanu Reeves.
No, it often isn't. If only they had Dracula, Keanu Reeves.
Dracula. So I'm kind of between.
What's his name?
Right now, I'm between Bill and Ted Keanu
I know.
Reeves and John Wick Keanu Reeves.
Oh, really? Well, because he loves his dog.
Right, so
maybe
but it's
I
like-
should go John Wick because I love my dog.
Right. So, like, which Keanu Reeves character do you relate to the most?
Is Speed Keanu Reeves afraid of cars?
No.
Okay. I feel like that experience could make you afraid of cars and highways.
So
and I am that.
As far as what I can relate to, I'm gonna go with John Wick Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
I was thinking Bill and Ted Keanu Reeves, but
I
that's
can
just
see
the
that for you.
Keanu Reeves I find the most entertaining.
But I could see that for you.
Yeah.
Maybe a younger you.
Yeah, but now in my 30s,
I don't even
John
know
Wick.
Point Break. I don't even know which one that is.
that's like
I know
the
Gross
weird
Point Break.
surfing / bank robbing movie
Oh.
with Matthew McConaughey.
Well, I hate water.
Yeah, you do hate water.
I just don't know. I feel like I should just say John Wick too because the man loves dogs.
Yeah.
And doesn't seem to like people.
No.
But I hate guns too, and he likes them.
Obligatory. Okay, question 5. Obligatory pick an animal. I prefer plants, actually.
No.
Dogs, cows,
Oh.
goats,
Ooh.
cats, humans,
No.
or birds.
These are all good choices.
They're great choices. I think
Are you going cats?
I'm going cats. Are you going dogs?
I was going to go goats.
Goats?
I have always wanted a goat.
Really?
I have always wanted a goat so bad.
Wow.
I love goats. I think they're fucking adorable.
They are pretty gosh darn
And
cute. And they're great for lawn care.
Yes.
You don't need to mow your lawn if you have a goat.
And there's lots of cool mythologies about them being evil.
Maybe
for
evil.
no reason.
Yeah.
Sheep go to heaven. Okay. Which article of denim clothing would you wear? Jacket. Mm-hmm. Pants. So just jeans.
Jeans, yeah.
Shorts. A skirt. A suit.
Ooh.
Overalls. Or underwear. I see. I told you we had to do one of these quizzes because they're always wild. I do wear a denim jacket a lot.
I do have a denim jacket.
I also wear jeans a lot.
I also wear jeans.
And jean shorts.
and
love to
I
wear
also
jean
have
shorts.
denim overalls.
Yeah. So we know which ones we're not.
Right. You know
I will
what?
say I feel coolest in my denim jacket,
I feel really cool in my denim jacket.
but more often I wear denim pants and denim shorts.
And I feel very whimsical in my overalls.
yeah.
But really, my go-to is jeans.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
My go-to is denim pants.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go pants. A little bit boring, but
I think I'm going to go shorts because I just prefer to wear them to
Yeah.
pants, except for weather permitting, you know?
of course.
When given the opportunity, I would rather wear the shorts. Okay.
I'm going to read the next question.
Sure. Choose an act of hubris to commit. An act of hubris. Would you steal power from the gods?
Yes.
Declare yourself the king of the world? Know every thought of your enemy?
Oh.
Become the fairest of them all? Obtain the truth of the universe? The secret to cheat death? Or bring someone back from the dead? These are all great choices.
These are great. One's is like,
You feel like
it has to be. I have to obtain the truth of the universe.
Okay, see, I feel like the moment I read "Declare yourself king,
King
of the world," I was like, "That's a Katy answer.
That's a Katy thing.
That's a Katy
Yeah,
answer."
Katy would declare herself king of the world.
So let's. Though I would also love the secret to cheat death.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, no,
No,
king of the world.
I want the truth of the universe. Give it to me.
Okay. Do you want to read your result first?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. My result, I am Enlil.
Enlil?
Enlil. Enlil. It doesn't say what Enlil is the god of.
Well, let's find out.
Oh, one of the most powerful supreme deities of ancient Mesopotamian pantheon. So it says, you've never thought of yourself as popular, but you find that people have a tendency to listen to you or look up to you as a leader. Is it awe? Jealousy? Whatever it is, people don't seem to keep eye contact long. It's because I can't keep eye contact for very long. You also have a knack for not considering the consequences of your actions and have unintentionally caused harms to those who follow your advice.
That's interesting as a teacher.
Yeah, I honestly try really hard not to give advice.
Well, maybe because
unless I'm fully knowledgeable of the area and the subject matter. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, because advice is a tricky
thing. Yeah. I'm Enlo. Very powerful. Get into it.
Okay. Let's see. I've got Ashur. And it says,
how do you spell it?
Ashur. I just Google it real quick. Apparently he is like kind
Asher.
of the patron god of like Assyria.
Yeah.
He's like the god associated
Supreme
with the
national
city.
god of the ancient Assyrians. Yeah.
However, what this quiz has to say about it is kind of a normie, aren't you? I've never been so insulted in my life.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I beg to differ. You just tend to go with the flow. Well, okay.
Sure.
You often find yourself parroting opinions heard from someone else before forming your own.
That's
Never.
Not you. That's not you.
You can't help it. You find yourself jumping from friend group to friend group. I have a hard enough time sticking this friend. You like I do not have friend groups to jump between.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God. But apparently I'm welcome in almost any clique.
Yeah, you are.
Your ability to be a jack of all peoples has also revealed a kind of ambition in you to expand your social circle and collect as many people in your life as you can. Your energy level often fluctuates, and you find it's due more to what greater overarching things are going on in your life at the time. I don't think I'm Ashur. I think this is.
I honestly feel like the first half of this felt okay, and then the second half is like, I consider the actions of my consequences.
Yeah.
Significantly.
Yeah. Let's see. Ashur, he's associated with the city.
Including possible consequences that can't possibly happen.
Yeah. It's almost like this random internet quiz is like
unhelpful.
I mean, the wild goat is to be his sacred animal.
Oh, okay.
So I guess maybe goat
that's why
bared a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay.
Cool.
Well, I guess if I was going to get possessed by somebody.
Yeah.
Some guy who loves goats and Syria.
Yeah,
sure.
I'd be possessed by Enlil.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. Apparently he's good with people, so that's great.
Yeah, so hey everybody, learn more about Mesopotamian theology.
I know. I want to learn more about it. Yep. That's a field that I haven't looked into much, so.
This has been Deep Thoughts, Shallow Plots. Join us next month. We're taking a different approach to possession for our hot possession summer. We're going to watch Get Out.
Yes.
Yeah, our second Jordan Peele movie. Very exciting.
Follow us on Instagram. We rarely post things there, but, we're there.
Yeah, we're there. Reach out.
We've got
YouTube
reach back. Where all your regular podcast sites.
Yep.
Get up on us.
Thank you, as always, to Sound Guy Matt. We should make him take this quiz. Maybe we could put that on the Instagram. Have Sound Guy Matt take this quiz.
Yeah, that could be cute.
See what Naruto gets him. Yeah. As a Mesopotamian god.
Yes, I do need to know how DBZ played into
the choice. Yes.
See, I feel like Pokemon's the normie answer. Come on.
Pokemon kind of is the normie answer. Yeah, it was definitely the most easily accessible.
Normie.
Yeah.
Rude.
And until next time, we've got rats in the attic. You better go set some traps.